Chapter 2441. Xie Chaoyan had seen everything clearly just now, and the process was still being repeated in her mind. Just now, you injected a lot of your own pure energy into the 8 masses of medicinal liquid. That way, you could make the process of the medicinal liquid colliding become even more violent, and also because of this violent collision, the energy you injected into the 8 masses of medicinal liquid scattered, and the moment it dispersed, because of the strong impact pressure, it could merge with the tiny medicinal liquid. In the end, it will produce a very high temperature that will melt everything. With your control, your powerful strength will be able to fuse with the medicinal liquid, and because of this tempering, the quality of the medicinal liquid will soar. Xie Chaoyan looked at those tiny particles inside the magic method furnace. They were all tiny crystals, the same as medicinal liquid, but the medicinal liquid had solidified. That's right, Chen Shang said. He did this so that Chu Hongqing could see it, because Chu Hongqing was very interested in this kind of extreme refining method. Chen Shang released flames, completely enveloping the tiny medicine crystal inside the pill furnace. As it burned, these crystals emitted a faint golden light, and then, under Chen Zhang's immense pressure, they all gathered together into a ball. This process was extremely quick. After he finished this, Chen Shang used the heavenly alchemy to refine this large lump of crystals into 8 little round beads. This also caused Xie Chaoyan to be extremely surprised, as he obviously knew of some method to make this happen. The second time, Xie Chaoyan said in a low voice. She could tell from Chen Zhang's serious expression that he was under a lot of pressure right now. Chen Shang took a few deep breaths, and after relaxing a lot, he started the second crash. The moment the 8 balls of crystals collided with each other, they exploded with a strong flash and a loud explosion at the same time. Because it was too strong, the sound penetrated the space defense. The light produced by the collision of the strong powers was extremely scorching, and Xie Chaoyan had no choice but to cover her eyes with her hands, if not her eyes would be injured. But when she shifted her gaze, she saw that Chen Zhang's magic method furnace was glowing with an extremely strong golden light. After a while, the light gradually dimmed down, and many of the particles that had melted into water droplets started to solidify, and just as they were about to solidify, Chen Shang gathered all of them together and condensed them into a ball. This medicine crystal was the same size as the one just now. Chen Shang had originally planned to condense a core at this time, even though the quality would be a little worse, but he felt that he could control it pretty well. Therefore, the third crash shouldn't be a problem. Xie Chaoyan thought so too. She thought that Chen Shang was about to start condensing the pill now. We still have an hour, right? Chen Shang asked. Yes, Xie Chaoyan had just finished answering. Chen Shang then used the technique in the heavenly alchemy to refine a large group of 8 small balls, and then poured a very vigorous Daoyuan immortal power. Are you really going to continue? Xie Chaoyan immediately shouted. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Get ready. As Chen Shang finished speaking, he saw the 8 crystals within his magic method furnace once again turn into lightning and fiercely charge towards the center from 8 directions. After the fierce collision, the entire secret room was enveloped by the strong light. However, this time, there were no sounds of explosions, only the low shouts from Chen Shang. After the light gradually dissipated, Chen Zhang's sleeves started to swell and tear, his arms swelled up very big, and at the moment, Daoyuan immortal power was gushing out continuously, suppressing the magic method furnace. Then he let out a long breath and took advantage of the heat to fuse the particles together. The final stage, Chen Shang shouted loudly. A Taiji array appeared at the bottom of the magic method furnace. These spirit grain turned into chains, enveloping the huge crystal ball and beginning to retract it. Xie Chaoyan looked at the continuously spinning yin-yang Taiji array below Chen Shang, and was so shocked that she couldn't even speak. After a while, she said in a serious voice, "This is the refinement method from the infinite Dan method. Your technique is called the limitless divine congealing method. How did you learn it? I took a long time to understand this technique, but even with guidance, it's not that easy to learn, and you can use it so skillfully, almost in one go." Quote. Before, Chen Shang also called this move infinite refining. He laughed and said, "I accidentally comprehended this technique myself, but I have not used it for a long time. Of course, the current use of it is very different from the past, because I have also grown a lot later on." Now, Chen Shang also understood that the infinite Dan method was definitely related to the heavenly alchemy, because the infinite refining was something that he had comprehended from the heavenly alchemy, but he rarely used it afterwards. Right now, he couldn't use 6 realms mirrors to help him condense the pill, so he thought of this move. Many of the life-killing divine deity that Chen Shang cultivated had yin and yang energies, so when using this infinite refining, it would also increase by a lot, and the speed at which the pellet was condensed was extremely fast. Xie Chaoyan had already completed it, so she knew that she would definitely lose if she refined 5 pills, because Chen Shang had actually gone much more smoothly than when she used the pill furnace last time. I never thought that after entering the Daodan realm, my strength would increase by so much. The last time he competed with Xie Chaoyan, he was only at Daoyuan realm. This time, not only did he step into the Daodan realm, he was even more familiar with using such methods from the Dao Mark Dan, which was why his use of the magic method furnace was so smooth. When the 2 hours were almost up, Chen Zhang's magic method furnace finally condensed a light gold pill. It's finally healed, Chen Shang chuckled, then wiped off his sweat and kept the magic method furnace and the Xuanwu. I've lost, Xie Chaoyan said. She was now convinced, because she had witnessed with her own eyes how the pills were made here. Chen Shang was only at the level of Dao Dan realm, yet he was able to refine such a high-quality Dao Mark Dan. Why don't you test your quality? Chen Shang laughed. All right, Xie Chaoyan took out the testing disc and took Chen Zhang's Dao Mark Dan S. The number was quickly displayed. Although Xie Chaoyan knew that the quality would be very high, even higher than the pill that Chen Shang had refined last time, he did not expect it to be as high as 2 vials. The last one was defective, this one is finally perfect. Chen Shang wiped away the sweat on his forehead. Refining this furnace was not easy for him either. Can you sell it to me? Xie Chaoyan asked. Name your price. Here, I know you want to keep it. Chen Shang laughed. Yes, to me, this is a priceless treasure. It is the crystallization of the Tao of pills. Xie Chaoyan stared at the pellet, his ice-cold eyes shining with a fiery light. Thank you, Xie Chaoyan said. You should be tired, you rest first. I will not go back on my words. Next time I come to find you, I will pass on the infinite Dan method to you. All right, Chen Shang smiled at her, then sent her out the door. Chapter 2442. Chen Shang was only curious about the infinite Dan method. He felt that his own heavenly alchemy would definitely be better than the infinite Dan method, because the infinite refining he had just used was something he had comprehended from the heavenly alchemy. Furthermore, he wanted to know who the heavenly alchemy was. This man must be powerful, even if he was in the big chaotic times, the alchemist would not know of its existence. Chen Shang rested properly for 2 days. Refining such high-quality pills was only because he wanted to challenge himself, but he was extremely tired. He had to rest for 2 days to recover. Now that he had the creator's well, he didn't need to condense purple pearls to copy the medicinal ingredients. He made Chu Hongqing try it out, and when he added purple pearls to water the medicinal ingredients, the rate at which the medicinal ingredients grew would increase even more. Right now, he already had a lot of Qingyuan Dan's medicinal ingredients. As long as he meditated for a period of time, he would be able to refine a large amount of Qingyuan Dan. He wanted to see when he could live in that house he bought. After finding the old man from last time, he knew that he could go now, but that city was not completely built, and it would take a few more days to finish. The old man didn't recommend that Chen Shang go there immediately. The 3 native banks had built these cities to let the group of cultivators gather together to discuss about it, and it was for the fun of it. But Chen Shang did not care, because he planned to go to that place to refine a batch of Qingyuan Dan, and at that time, it would be up for sale. The reason the 3 great native banks created this kind of city was partly to take back the jade money from a large group of rich people, so all the houses here would be sold at a high price. Billions of jade money could be considered a large amount of wealth outside, but it was definitely not much here. And Chen Shang wanted to buy more pill formulas and ingredients here, so he needed to prepare more jade money. Chen Shang passed through the Eternal Life Native Bank's transmission array and arrived at the city. It was indeed very quiet there, and the construction was almost complete. Chen Shang followed the map and soon arrived in front of the house he had bought. In front of him were 10 large shelves with 16 floors, and behind them was a huge villa with many houses built inside. The houses that were being sold were already equipped with defensive formations and all kinds of formations. This was to ensure that the interior would have a better environment. For example, the soundproofing array was used to isolate sound from the outside and to keep the interior quiet. Chen Shang used a jade tablet to open the door of a shop, and walked in. The interior was well decorated, and after he closed the door, he walked through the shop and arrived at the villa at the back, then chose a house for himself. Right now, he was the only one left, but he felt that it would definitely be very lively in the future. Refine the Qingyuan Dan for a few more days, and this city will be completely built. It's just that I don't know how many people will come. Chen Shang was a little worried. If this city was deserted, it would be difficult for him to earn jade money by selling pills here in the future. Are you ready to sell the Qingyuan Dan? Chu Hongqing asked. Of course not, we have nothing better to do anyway, we can just make some ingredients, and the Qingyuan Dan can also be eaten by us. Chen Shang laughed. Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan also came out from the Yuyao Mountain Villa, looking at the place that Chen Shang had bought. It really isn't small, Chu Hongqing praised. The scenery around here is also not bad. I wonder if this city has any city walls. Behind this villa is a large mountain. Chen Shang laughed. Could it be that you're worried about some savage beasts over there? Chu Hongqing stuck out her tongue, then took out her pill furnace and started refining pills in the courtyard. Since there were only the three of them here, no one would disturb them. Chen Shang also took out his pill furnace and started to refine his Qingyuan Dan. He had to get used to refining this kind of pill quickly. As long as he was familiar with the pill to a certain degree, he would be able to use his eyes as bones to refine it, and it would be completed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. Chen Shang and Chu Hongqing had refined over 500 Qingyuan Dan. Yang Shangyan came back from the outside and said, "There are already a lot of people here, especially in the central region. It is said that there are shops and houses in the city, and the majority of them are from the big sects and big families. Some have even moved the entire sector family's core here. That was why those forces had spent so many jade monies to move to this place. Of course, they had only brought the core personnel here, so that way, even if they were attacked by the enemy, their foundation would not be shaken." Chen Shang thought back to what the natural law divine spirit had said. Previously, the three great native banks had displayed too much power, and had already destroyed the balance in the world, which was why they had been annihilated. Right now, Chen Shang could already see how strong the powers of the three great native banks were. To be able to gather such a large group of powerful forces, if it were to be controlled by them in the future, it would be difficult to imagine. "Master, that Zhang Xian seems to be looking for you everywhere. He wants to invite you to participate in the Zhang clan's patriarch's birthday celebration." "Master, that Zhang Xian seems to be looking for you everywhere." Yang Shangyan said, "The Zhang clan also has a large manor here." Chen Shang almost forgot about this and laughed. "I will go look for him now, his strength is still very scary." The big cities built by the three great native banks were occupied by many large powers, many of them harboring grudges, but under the laws of the three great native banks, they did not dare to act recklessly, and could only fight after leaving this place. Chu Hongqing had also joined the Yuyao Mountain Villa and had already fused the space inside the serene jade ring into the divine sense sea world. Chen Shang walked out of his house, and not long after, he found Zhang Xian. Previously, Zhang Xian had told Chen Shang that there would be a very large battle arena in this newly built city. If they were to fight in this new city, they would be able to obtain a lot of jade money, and even more so, place their bets on the three great native banks. It was in this fighting arena that Chen Shang found Zhang Xian. Zhang Xian was currently looking at the battle arena, which was 300 meters wide. Below it were 10 people fighting chaotically. These 10 people's strengths were all in the Dao Dan realm. They released their own energy from their Dao marks, and when they fought, they released 5 different colored Dao Yuan immortal powers, which made people's eyes dazzled. "Brother Zhang," Chen Shang patted Zhang Xian's shoulder and laughed. Zhang Xian was so engrossed in watching that he did not notice when Chen Shang came to his side. It was only until Chen Shang patted him. "It's Brother Shen." Zhang Xian was surprised and said, "I was looking for you everywhere previously, but you really came out of nowhere and I couldn't find you when I was looking for you, but now you have found me." Chapter 2443. Seeing how engrossed Zhang Xian was, Chen Shang laughed. "Brother Zhang, do you want to try next time?" Zhang Xian nodded his head. "Of course I want to, but I can't do it now. In a few days it will be the Zhang family's competition. I cannot be injured here, if not it will be too troublesome, those guys will definitely laugh at me." Zhang Xian was also worried that he would run into a monster that he couldn't beat, and that he would be injured. When the time came, he, the patriarch of the Zhang family, would definitely be ridiculed by others when he appeared on the stage with an injury on his 10,000-year birthday celebration. Zhang Xian could only look on with an itch in his heart, but he couldn't fight on stage. "Brother Shen, you must go when the time comes. You are a famous person here right now. If I can invite you here, I would have a lot of faith in the Zhang family. Zhang Xian laughed. Don't worry, I'll be there in a few days. In 2 days, I'll come find you. Where are you staying? Zhang Xian asked. Chen Shang told Zhang Xian his address. When Zhang Xian found out that Chen Shang had bought it himself, he was shocked. Brother Shen, you're quite wealthy. Buying such a large place by yourself is enough to accommodate a sect. Right now, you're the only one living inside. Zhang Xian asked. Of course not, I still have 2 female slaves. Chen Shang snickered. Only now did Zhang Xian remember that Chen Shang had used 4 billion to buy Yang Shangyan before, and then won 5 billion from Ning Quan. Chen Shang was by himself, but he possessed so many jade money, which made him quite wealthy in 3 money divine city. Of course, if it was the wealth of a sect or a great clan, Chen Shang would be far inferior to them. After all, he was just a single person. Keep reading, I'll go around for a while. Chen Shang said. Just as he was about to leave, a voice came out from the competition arena that made him stop. Now, let's invite Huang Jintian and Ji Yang out. Both of them are at the 2nd level of the Daodan realm. Chen Shang stared blankly at him, then opened his eyes wide and looked at the white hair on the fighting arena. It was indeed Huang Jintian, and he was still smiling. This old madman. Chen Shang was very surprised about this, because he never thought that Huang Jintian would actually appear in this city and was even at the 2nd level of the Daodan realm. Brother Shen, what's wrong? Zhang Xian asked quickly. Nothing, that old man is an acquaintance of mine. Chen Shang laughed bitterly. He had originally planned to explore the city, but seeing that Huang Jintian had come on stage, he did not plan to leave. Is he a friend of yours, is he? That Ji Yang is at Ji Clan, your friend might not be able to beat him, but he's really good at fighting. Just as Zhang Xian finished speaking, Chen Shang saw Ji Yang transform into a ball of flame that quickly flew towards Huang Jintian. After Huang Jintian dodged it, although he didn't know why, he still used the same attack method as Ji Yang, turning into a ball of fire to attack Ji Yang. Just like this, no matter what moves Ji Yang used, Huang Jintian would use exactly the same. This not only astonished Chen Shang, even the thousands of people watching the battle were extremely surprised. They were basically mimicking Ji Yang's moves. This friend of yours is truly strange. Many of Ji Yang's methods require Dao marks to be able to use. However, this friend of yours can learn them as well. In addition, their power seems to be even greater than Ji Yang's. After Zhang Xian finished speaking, he said again, no, he's not completely model acquired. There are some areas that are still very rough, and he's learning them. Right now, Chen Shang could only wait for Huang Jintian to finish fighting before asking Huang Jintian what exactly he had experienced that caused his speed of breakthrough to actually be so much faster than his own. Although that Ji Yang was strong, he was not a match for an old madman like Huang Jintian. This was because Huang Jintian's fighting style was completely unpredictable, because at the start, Huang Jintian had always been imitating Ji Yang's moves, but later, Huang Jintian used his own moves to defeat him, and with a few moves, he completely stunned Ji Yang. After Huang Jintian won, he also received 10 million jade money, but Chen Shang hurriedly sent a sound transmission to Huang Jintian and shouted, Master! I've finally found you, brat. I know you're here, but I don't know where you're hiding. The moment Huang Jintian entered the city, he heard of Chen Zhang's great name. Originally, he wanted to look for Chen Shang at the Immortal Life restaurant, but he found out that Chen Shang had already moved out. In order to find Chen Shang, he could only use this method to attract his attention. Chen Shang hurriedly walked out of the fighting arena. Zhang Xian also followed Chen Shang because he wanted to have a match with him and also want to get to know him. Brother Shen, that old man is some acquaintance of yours. Zhang Xian followed behind Chen Shang and asked. My master, Chen Shang said. What, he's only at the 2nd level of Daodan realm, he's your master. Zhang Xian had thought that Chen Zhang's master was one of those extremely powerful old fogies. Don't underestimate him, Chen Shang chuckled, but he shouldn't be as strong as me. Back then, when he accepted me as his disciple, I was indeed very weak, but later on, I passed him. Huang Jintian also came to the entrance of the competition arena and laughed. Little brat, I just won against 10 million jade money, I'll treat you to a drink. No, you have billions of yuan, you should be the one treating me. Let's go. Chen Shang laughed. He had also called Zhang Xian over, but Zhang Xian had suddenly received a notification from the Zhang family, telling him to return quickly, so he had no choice but to accompany him. Huang Jintian was extremely tasty, and now that he knew that Chen Shang had made so many jade money, he would definitely eat Chen Shang up until he was done. Chen Shang brought Huang Jintian to the best hotel in the place. While eating and drinking, he answered Chen Zhang's question. It's a long story. After the two eras merged, our everlasting mountain appeared in the same valley. Also, there was a change in the seal below the everlasting mountain. Two earthly beasts ran out. Huang Jintian said. Chen Shang knew what kind of earthly beasts they were, and they were also Ren Xin's parents. After that, they stayed in everlasting mountain for a period of time. From time to time, they would go out to bring us some food to eat. Huang Jintian laughed. Afterwards, we brought the people from the everlasting mountain to a small city and inquired about your information. It's not easy for you guys either. I was going to look for you guys. Chen Shang said, then took out a map that he obtained from the natural law divine spirit, which Chen Shang told him about him encountering the natural law divine spirit. Hee, we also met that guy. This old man even helped us quite a bit, and he seems to know your relationship with us. He treated us pretty well, and most importantly, he gave us quite a few jade money. Huang Jintian said. This guy actually didn't mention this to me. Chen Shang snorted. Chapter 2444. He also told us not to tell you. I think he was worried that you would think too much. In short, this guy isn't really bad. Huang Jintian said. That's right. Then what about hundreds of Flowers Village, Dragon Clan, Nine Heaven School and a few other god tribes? They're all hidden. Chen Shang briefly described the situation with Long Jushao, allowing him to feel more at ease. What about Wu Ji and the rest? Senior Master, did they come in? Chen Shang asked. No, I've used up all of my jade money, I was dissolving it just to get in here. Huang Jintian laughed. I came here to look for you. Although we improved very quickly, we leveled up with the help of the two earthly beasts. Now that they have left, our days have become a bit difficult. How many of you are there? Chen Shang asked. It's been several hundred people already. Along the way, we met many powerful savage beasts and some of them died. Huang Jintian sighed. It's impossible for all of you to come in. If there isn't enough Dao Dan Realm S, it would take a lot of jade money S to get in. Chen Shang said, how about this, I'll give you 1 billion jade money. You should think of a way to bring them to the southern wasteland demon forest S. It shouldn't be a problem. 1 billion is enough for us to use for a very long time. Huang Jintian nodded his head. You want us to go to Nine Heaven School? In Nine Heaven School, for them to be able to obtain the required pellets, the alchemy team of hundreds of Flowers Village was extremely strong. Chen Shang took out 1 billion jade money and gave it to Huang Jintian. Oh yeah, we also found Shu Dazong. This bastard's luck is really bad, his purple yuan sect appeared in a demon beast nest. Huang Jintian sighed. It's a good thing that he's lucky, that he was able to escape alive, but the others aren't so lucky. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief. Luckily he is still alive, otherwise, it would be difficult for me to report to Yu Qing. He is a smart person, with their advice, you guys will be safer on the road. Huang Jintian laughed. Indeed. Oh yeah, little brat, did you meet undead divine race when you came here? Quote. Chen Shang also wanted to ask Huang Jintian about this matter, and said, your undead divine race is rather evil in this era, I had already killed one before. And that guy is also very strong. Quote. Indeed. Huang Jintian took out his Tianyan God record, opened it and said, when I came here, many of the missing records have appeared. What did they say? Chen Shang hurriedly asked. Only Huang Jintian himself could see the Tianyan God record. Our undead divine race has two factions, one of which wants to cooperate with the Red Spirit race. Red Spirit race is also Evil Spirit race. Huang Jintian said, but the other faction does not agree, and it will take many years for them to fight and cause a ruckus like this. Finally, after the natural law divine realm was established, many of the powerful evil spirits of the Evil Spirit race were suppressed in hell. Quote. After that, the 4 clans would seal the entrance to hell. At that time, the undead divine race above natural law divine realm would send a large group of people to guard the entrance of the star law divine realm to strengthen the seal. And I am a descendant of those people, and those undead divine race that were sent to the natural law divine realm were also killed. Quote. Chen Shang nodded his head. I can guess later on, natural law divine spirit said that after meeting undead divine race, they can break through the restrictions of the ancient code and gain great power, resulting in their balance being destroyed. That's why the gods and spirit race of natural law divine realm can only come back here. Huang Jintian laughed and said, the powerful divine spirit race and undead divine race have also returned after the merging of the two eras, and the current opponents for the divine spirit race and undead divine race are the three great native banks. Chen Shang did not expect himself to be able to strike a balance so easily. He suddenly felt that this must have been arranged by the heavenly Taos, because the natural law divine spirit had said before that it would be difficult to fuse the two eras, but he did it so easily. Master, I heard that the undead divine race here cannot be counted as my existence. Right, I killed the undead divine race last time. Chen Shang asked. That's right, but the undead divine race that came with us can calculate it. Of course, since you are in this city now, you don't have to be afraid of them. According to what I know, the undead divine race and the three great native banks don't have a good relationship. Huang Jintian said, so if you leave this city in the future, you must be careful. Natural law divine spirit seems to have told me before that because of their long lifespans, many of them lived from this era to the star law era. And now the two ages are blending together, so they won't have two batches of them in this era, will they? But why are there undead divine races here? Chen Shang really couldn't understand why. He doesn't quite understand. As long as they can survive to the age of star law, they will only be themselves when they come back. They don't even exist in this world, and those that can survive to the age of star law will not live to see the age of star law, so there must be a undead divine race here. Huang Jintian said. Following that, Huang Jintian ordered many more dishes, but he could not finish them all. I will bring them to the Nine Heaven School before I return. It is really too fast to earn jade money here, there are tens of millions just by fighting. Huang Jintian laughed. Chen Shang had originally planned to run into other wastelands to look for the everlasting mountain, but now it was unnecessary and the situation wasn't too bad. Chen Shang sent Huang Jintian to the Eternal Life Native Bank in the city and told him to teleport away. Right now, Chen Shang also had to cultivate his own forces, so that the three great native banks wouldn't be able to defeat the undead divine race and the evil spirit race in the future. There are only 2 days left before the Zhang clan's grand gathering. I'll go watch the show then. Chen Shang returned to his shop, and when he reached the door, he found Xie Chaoyan waiting for him there. How did you know I was here? Chen Shang laughed. It won't be a problem for me. Let's talk inside, Xie Chaoyan said. Chen Shang opened the door and followed her in, bringing him to the villa at the back. In 2 days, I will be participating in the Zhang clan's patriarch's birthday celebration. I am currently living in this city as well. Xie Chaoyan said. I am here to pass on the infinite Dan method to you. What a coincidence, I want to participate as well. Right, is the Zhang clan that powerful? Chen Shang asked. Of course it's powerful. The Zhang family's patriarch and the infinite divine mountain's leader are good friends, his relationship with the Ning family was not bad. In short, as long as these families and sects are not enemies, the relationship between them is fine. Xie Chaoyan asked, who invited you to go? Zhang Xian, we are friends now. Chen Shang laughed, do you know who this boy is? I keep feeling that he's very mysterious. Quote. It's actually him. Xie Chaoyan frowned, this guy was kicked out by Limitless. He was originally at the 10th level of the Daopo realm, but because of his actions in the Limitless battlefield, he was kicked out after crippling a portion of his cultivation. Chapter 2445. Hearing Zhang Xian's past, Chen Shang was surprised. Zhang Xian had never told him about this matter, but Zhang Xian was still a good person, he felt that there must be a secret behind Zhang Xian's expulsion. Zhang Xian is still considered not bad, he's just a little aggressive. When we fought in the Infinite Divine Mountain, 9 out of 10 people who competed with him were heavily injured, and the reason why he was expelled was mainly because he heavily injured the son of an elder. Xie Chaoyan said, but we can't blame him for that. Yeah, I even had a fight with him last time. Chen Shang laughed, he felt that if he wanted to win against Zhang Xian, it shouldn't be a problem, it would just require him to go all out. Xie Chaoyan's jade-like finger gently touched Chen Zhang's forehead, passing down the infinite Dan method to Chen Shang. There were a lot of content, which added to her comprehension of the infinite Dan method. You promised me, don't spread this matter, or else both of us would be in trouble. Also, tell me what kind of comprehension you have towards the infinite Dan method. Xie Chaoyan felt that Chen Zhang's pill techniques were much more powerful than hers, so she was not worried about this matter. Right now, she was only doing so to allow herself to better grasp the infinite Dan method. This infinite Dan method doesn't seem to be complete. Chen Shang quickly found the problem. Why do you say that? Xie Chaoyan hurriedly asked. I had the same question before, but I've asked the elders of the limitless pill Tao, and they all said that my comprehension ability was not good enough, which was why they felt that way. It's all bullshit, Chen Shang said. You have many incomplete mental cultivation methods in this infinite Dan method, and only a part of it, so when you use these methods, no matter how you try, you would never succeed. Xie Chaoyan nodded his head. I didn't expect you to finish digesting it so quickly. It's true, what's going on? Those elders definitely did not give you the complete version. They must have been careful. Chen Shang said. There were very few methods in the infinite Dan method, so it was much less than his own. Chen Shang felt that this infinite Dan method was extremely familiar, and it was obvious that it was created using a part of the heavenly alchemy, so after Xie Chaoyan passed down the mental cultivation method to him, he could immediately feel that there was a huge problem. Have you tried using all of your hearts? Chen Shang asked. I tried, but at most, I could only use it with all my heart. I felt that it was too ethereal, maybe it was just an exaggeration, that's why I wrote it like that. Xie Chaoyan said. That's fine, Chen Shang said. This mental cultivation method of yours has been simplified before, but when it is simplified, go to the most important place. Thus, I guess controlling 5 pill furnaces at the same time would be extremely taxing. Furthermore, not to mention the slow speed, the quality of the pills you produce wouldn't be high either. Quote. That's right, how do you know it's been streamlined? I can't tell. Xie Chaoyan thought for a while, then asked, do you have the complete version? I've given you the rest of the broken parts, take a look yourself and see how big of a gap there is between you and the original. As I said before, I am only curious about the infinite Dan method. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he tapped the center of Xie Chaoyan's forehead with his finger, and then giggled as he looked at her pair of ice-cold yet beautiful eyes. Being looked at by Chen Shang at such a close distance, Xie Chaoyan let out a light snort, and then, closed her eyes to look at the infinite Dan method Chen Shang had passed on to her. She had even thought that Chen Shang was only trying to make up for his lack of talent, but he had actually made up for all the other areas. She had already studied the infinite Dan method many times, there were many areas that she did not understand previously, and she had not even succeeded in using any of the techniques. But now that she saw the complete version that Chen Shang gave her, all those difficult problems were easily solved. Chen Shang only filled in all the missing mental cultivation methods in the infinite Dan method for her, and then added a little of his own annotation. Right now, Chen Shang was very sure that the infinite Dan method was copied from the heavenly alchemy. Although it was so, Xie Chaoyan had used it extremely well, allowing her to have a very high attainments in pill refining. This was something that Chen Shang was extremely impressed with. Why can you help me fill in the gaps? Xie Chaoyan was very curious about this. Chen Shang smiled as he shook his head, telling Xie Chaoyan that he could not tell her this. That is my secret. In the future, I might be able to tell you. Your infinite Dan method is already complete. I hope that you can improve your pill techniques a little, and at that time, we can compete with you again. Chen Shang laughed. Thank you. Xie Chaoyan was extremely glad for her decision back then. Otherwise, she would have to continue bitterly study the incomplete infinite Dan method. Chen Shang giving her the complete infinite Dan method was too useful to her. Do you mind if I stay here for the next 2 days? Xie Chaoyan asked. How could I possibly mind if you were able to stay with me, a beauty like you? Chen Shang laughed. He felt that it was enough to deal with girls, especially those that were obsessed with pill refining. It was a piece of cake for him. Xie Chaoyan merely snorted, and did not say much. This meant that she had kissed Chen Shang yet again, and that Chen Shang had spoken that way just now to probe her. Chao Yan, are you going to forge a pill now? Chen Shang asked. Yes, I want to try to see how the complete infinite Dan method looks like. Xie Chaoyan took out a pill furnace. I will concoct pills here, I prefer to concoct pills outside. Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan were in the same garden. Xie Chaoyan sat cross-legged on the soft grass, surrounded by beautiful flowers. The environment was indeed good, and when refining pills, he did not feel bored either. I have the Qingyuan Dan's medicinal ingredients, do you want to refine them? I will only let you refine it, but the pill will be mine. Chen Shang took out a few portions of Qingyuan Dan's medicinal ingredients. Why do you have so many? Xie Chaoyan instantly recognized the cyan flower and primordial fruit of the Qingyuan Dan. I'm really capable. It would be a piece of cake to get some ingredients for this kind of pill. Do you want to refine it? Chen Shang said while grinning. Of course. It had been a long time since Xie Chaoyan last refined a Qingyuan Dan. She was already very surprised that Chen Shang had a complete infinite Dan method, but with this kind of medicine, she felt that Chen Zhang's abilities were much more than normal. Chao Yan, I'll have my maid accompany you in refining. She is also a pill refiner. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he let Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan come out. Xie Chaoyan knew that Chen Shang had bought Yang Shangyan, but he did not know how to refine pills. Hello, Sister Qianyan. Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan sweetly greeted Xie Chaoyan. Hongqing, you and Chao Yan will compete. Let's see who is stronger. Chen Shang laughed. Chapter 2446. Chu Hongqing came to Chen Zhang's side and asked in a low voice, didn't you say you were going to accompany Big Sister Coincidental Yan to refine pills? It's fine. Xie Chaoyan's tone became much more gentle. She was worried about Chen Zhang's servant because she knew her own personality. Chu Hongqing nodded, and then came to Xie Chaoyan's side. Just refine the Qingyuan Dan. Within 4 hours, the highest quality person will win. Chen Shang was the referee. He was currently lying on the lawn with his head on Yang Shangyan's bed, looking at the blue sky with great enjoyment. He would occasionally pinch Yang Shangyan's face or touch Yang Shangyan's tender jade hands. 4 hours was still relatively long for Chen Shang, so he let Yang Shangyan hum a small tune for him to listen to while he closed his eyes and waited for the results. Chu Hongqing was also very hardworking. She clearly understood that the reason Chen Shang wanted her to compete with him was to squeeze out her potential. Xie Chaoyan could guess that Chen Shang must have passed his pill techniques on to the servant girl beside her, causing her to be a little envious. A servant girl could actually obtain a pill technique as high as Chen Zhang's. This servant was simply too lucky. It had been a long time since Xie Chaoyan last refined a Qingyuan Dan. She had some experience, but since she had a solid foundation, she refined very quickly. She opened the pill furnace in just an hour and took out 5 Qingyuan Dans that were glowing with a blue light. The quality seemed very good. Chu Hongqing had not completed it yet, but she was extremely stable. Chen Shang had a better understanding of her strength. He felt that even if Chu Hongqing lost, it wouldn't be too embarrassing. After 4 hours had almost passed, Chu Hongqing was finally done. She opened the pill furnace and took out 7 Qingyuan Dans. So many, Xie Chaoyan exclaimed. I need to test my quality. Chen Shang laughed. Xie Chaoyan took out the testing disc, and placed all 5 of his Qingyuan Dans onto it. Each pellet was of 400 quality. The quality was considered very high. The total value of 5 pellets was 2000. During Chu Hongqing's test, the highest pellet was 300, and the lowest was 260. Her 7 pellets had a total quality of 1870, which wasn't too far off from Xie Chaoyan's. Chen Shang smiled and pinched Chu Hongqing's jade face. If you refine another pellet, you will win. Chu Hongqing stuck out her tongue, and said tenderly, I can't, this is my limit. Xie Chaoyan said, Hongqing, you are considered very powerful. I don't know many female alchemists, but none of them are as powerful as you. This is all thanks to Master's guidance. Chu Hongqing smiled sweetly. Big Sister Qianyan definitely hasn't put her full effort, right? If you use your full strength, the gap between you and I will definitely be very large. Chen Shang allowed Xie Chaoyan and her to refine pellets together, so that they could exchange their experiences, while Chen Shang brought Yang Shangyan to stroll around the villa. Shang Yin, what do you think about this woman, Xie Chaoyan? Chen Shang asked. Not bad. She's strong and has great alchemy skills. She's pretty and has status. Although her appearance is cold on the surface, her character isn't bad. After Yang Shangyan finished speaking, he asked her in a low voice, Master, you're interested in her? It is indeed a little interesting. I only wanted to get her to the Hundreds of Flowers village, but I was still a little worried because I am still not very familiar with her. Chen Shang pulled Yang Shangyan's small hand and shook it. Then how can I be at ease with her? She's so strong, it's very difficult to take her in as a female slave. Yang Shangyan also understood Chen Zhang's worry. She knew that the women in Hundreds of Flowers village were extremely important to Chen Shang. Chen Shang looked at Yang Shangyan with a smile, then covered her cherry lips. This sudden event caused Yang Shangyan to not be prepared in the slightest. Moreover, for such a thing, it was very awkward for her. Of course, she didn't reject it from the bottom of her heart, and she had been waiting for this since a long time ago. Slowly, Yang Shangyan became a little familiar, and they began to kiss once more. This kind of feeling made her heart feel an inexplicable sense of sweetness, and her body felt a little hot. Chen Shang laid on the grass with Yang Shangyan in his arms, and asked, Shang Yin, are you happy with me? Of course I'm happy. Master has been so kind to me, spending so many jade money to buy me to be safe from poison. I'm very grateful to you. Yang Shangyan gently caressed Chen Zhang's chest and said sweetly. That's good. I was worried that you wouldn't be happy. Chen Shang laughed, and then, he kissed Yang Shangyan on the cheek. In the evening, Chen Shang and Yang Shangyan returned to the garden. Xie Chaoyan and Chu Hongqing were still concocting pills. It seemed that their communication was not bad, and they even tried to concoct 2 batches of pills. Chen Shang looked at their results and realized that Xie Chaoyan had actually managed to refine 6 pills. This must have been due to Chu Hongqing giving her some pointers, and the quality of the pills Chu Hongqing refined had also increased by a lot, becoming more stable. Don't get tired, Chen Shang laughed. Hongqing, you should rest first and come back tomorrow. Xie Chaoyan knew that Chu Hongqing's cultivation was not high, and her training was difficult for her, but it could help Chu Hongqing improve her quality. Xie Chaoyan had already promised Chen Shang that he would stay here for 2 days, and then, he would participate in the Zhang family patriarch's birthday banquet. The next morning, when Chen Shang opened the door, she saw Xie Chaoyan and Chu Hongqing drinking tea and eating dim sum in the hall. Yang Shangyan had made these, although she did not know how to refine pills, she was very good at it. I won't be refining the Qingyuan Dan today. There's a guy who wants to challenge me. He knows that I'm here. Xie Chaoyan said. Oh, could it be that he also has a recommends divine pill in his hands? Chen Shang took out the pill Xie Chaoyan gave him last time. As long as there was a pill here, he could challenge the alchemist S above at any time. Yes, he knew that I was here, and the person in charge of Dan God list of 8 wastelands also sent a message to me, asking me to accept his challenge today. Xie Chaoyan nodded. Looks like this Dan God list of 8 wastelands is very troublesome. I better not go. Chen Shang curled his lips. It's troublesome occasionally, but there are quite a few benefits as well. However, those benefits should not be much to you. Xie Chaoyan said, will you come with me to take a look? Of course I'm going. If you lose to that guy, then I can help you get back at him. Chen Shang laughed. I won't lose. Xie Chaoyan snorted. Weren't you as confident as me last time? Chen Shang laughed. I refuse to believe that I will be so unlucky as to encounter 2 monsters in such a short amount of time. Xie Chaoyan scoffed. You wish for me to lose that much, what kind of mentality do you have? Chen Shang laughed. Of course I don't want it, you can only lose to me, you can't lose to anyone, especially other men. Xie Chaoyan frowned, and said, why do these words sound a little strange to me? Chapter 2447. Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan entered the Yuyao Mountain Villa. They did not like being in front of everyone right now. Then, Chen Shang followed Xie Chaoyan to the 3 Lives Native Bank. This was the first time Chen Shang had entered the 3 Lives Native Bank. This 3 Lives Native Bank was extremely luxurious, no matter if it was the outside or the inside, they were all decorated brilliantly with gold and jade. When he entered the 3 Lives Native Bank's great hall, he was pierced by the golden light in his eyes. The ground and top were paved with gold, and the decorations were magnificent. The Eternal Life Native Bank is lacking a lot in this area. Chen Shang lamented. Eternal Life Native Bank is still considered normal, the worst should be the Lifeless Native Bank. You probably have never been to the Lifeless Native Bank. The moment Xie Chaoyan entered, he took out the communication jade symbol paper and said, we're on the 6th floor, let's go up. Usually, they would compete in pill refining on the floors above Native Bank, because there were many alchemists that were gathered there, and there was also Native Bank that guaranteed fairness. When Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan arrived, many people were surprised. Their focus was also on Chen Shang, because Xie Chaoyan had lost to Chen Shang, so everyone thought that Xie Chaoyan would definitely resent him for that. They never thought that they would actually come together, and even walk so close. Their relationship seemed to be not bad. When Ning Quan saw that Chen Shang had such a good relationship with his own master, he felt extremely uncomfortable. Huang Tian, who was beside Ning Quan, was even more jealous. He never thought that Chen Shang would not only specially take in female slaves, but also have a hand in this kind of strong and cold beauty. Ning Quan was not surprised. He had definitely come here to place his bet on the jade money, but he did not know who he was betting with, and this 3 Lives Native Bank would definitely open the competition for this competition. Martial uncle, why are you with him? Ning Quan immediately asked. This guy is not a good person. Chen Shang immediately laughed. Your junior master is currently living in my villa, and your relationship with me is not bad. Don't carelessly slander me. Ning Quan originally wanted to say something, but after coming in contact with Xie Chaoyan's ice-cold gaze, he did not dare to say any more. Xie Chaoyan was actually in Chen Zhang's villa. He thought about it and felt that it was understandable. Xie Chaoyan had been defeated by Chen Shang. Was it you who challenged me? Xie Chaoyan looked at a man dressed in luxurious blue clothes. That's right, the man said, looking a little haughty. Of course, his eyes were burning with passion. With one look, one could tell that he had ulterior motives towards such a noble and cold woman like Xie Chaoyan. Xie Chaoyan, he is the grandson of the Sky Harmony sect's leader S. His name is Chao Yu, and the recommended divine pellet in his hands is given by the Sky Harmony sect's leader S. But don't think that he got the recommended divine pill because of his grandfather. An old man said. Chen Shang guessed that the old man was the person in charge of the Dan God list of 8 wastelands, so it was obvious that there would be such a person by his side. It doesn't matter, we just need 2 billion jade money. Xie Chaoyan said. On the way here, Chen Shang had also understood that if he were to lose, he would need to pay 2 billion jade money, but if Xie Chaoyan lost, he would only give up the position of Dan God list of 8 wastelands. This was one of the benefits of being in the Dan God list of 8 wastelands, as there would be people who would challenge him often. As long as he was not defeated, there would be jade money to fight with, and it would also increase his reputation. How about Dao Ji Yu Dan S? Chao Yu asked. A high-grade king-level martial artist, are you actually quite confident? Xie Chaoyan said, the time limit of 6 hours is the highest in terms of overall quality. Should I use my own pill furnace or native banks? Use your own furnace, Chao Yu said. After all, when refining pills, his own pill furnace could help him stabilize and be a part of his strength. I heard that a high-grade king-level Dao Ji Yu Dan is extremely difficult to refine. It will be refined in 6 hours. Chu Hongqing said from within the Yuyao Mountain Villa, I wonder how high the overall quality will be. Xie Chaoyan was using the mysterious wooden pill furnace, so Chen Shang felt that it shouldn't be a problem for her to use the pill furnace. Chen Shang, you are also a gambler now, aren't you going to bet? Ning Quan, who was standing opposite of him, asked. Betting, isn't this betting on Xie Chaoyan winning? Even if I win, I will lose very little. Chen Shang shook his head, he's too young, it's not fun. No, there are very few people who can win against Junior Master this time, because they all think highly of Chao Yu. If you win, it'll be 150. Ning Quan said. Oh, then did you buy it? Chen Shang asked again. No, my judgment isn't that good. Ning Quan shook his head. This villa was opened by the 3 Lives native bank, and they actually did not think highly of Xie Chaoyan. It must be because Chao Yu had some tricks up his sleeves. Chen Shang anxiously ran over to an old man and said, I bought 2 billion jade money, if I bought the right one, it would be 10 billion, right? Everyone was shocked, Chen Shang actually bought that many in one go. Just now, Ning Quan had already told them that there were not many people who bought Xie Chaoyan, which meant that they did not have high hopes for him. Yes, are you sure you want to buy it? The old man asked. I'm sure. Chen Shang took out 2 billion jade money and obtained a piece of jade. If Xie Chaoyan won, he would be able to receive 10 billion jade money from this piece of jade. Xie Chaoyan frowned his eyebrows, and sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. You are too reckless, this Chao Yu has some skills, and his Sky sect is also skilled in pill refining. It is said that his grandfather once defeated the #1 pill god of our limitless pellet Dao. Chao Yan, I have confidence in you. You have obtained the complete version of the infinite Dan method. Chen Shang laughed. Don't lose, I bought 2 billion jade money from you. Then let's begin, the old man said. Chen Shang secretly used the God's Eye Dao to observe inside the pill furnace. He wanted to see what kind of skill this Chao Yu had, to actually have so many people thinking that he could defeat Xie Chaoyan. Ning Quan came to Chen Zhang's side, and said in a low voice, Chen Shang, you definitely do not understand the Sky sect. Chen Shang nodded, then laughed, not bad, but I know your junior master very well, that's enough. Ning Quan scoffed, you and my junior master are so close, you should be careful. What's there to be careful about? I don't need to worry about getting revenge here. Chen Shang looked at Huang Tian, and laughed, otherwise, that bastard would have already killed me. On the other hand, you don't have that much confidence in your own martial uncle, but you really are trying to take advantage of the enemy. You must have bought that guy to win, right? Quote. Chao Yu's grandfather is the number 2 in Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Previously, the number 2 in Dan God list of 8 wastelands was the limitless Pill Dao's great elder. But Chao Yu's cultivation is the same as my senior master. He must have obtained his grandfather's inheritance, and it's hard to say whether my senior master will be able to obtain the entire inheritance of the limitless pill. Ning Quan was actually quite familiar with the matters of the limitless Pill Dao. Chapter 2448. That was why she had previously said that Chen Shang was reckless, because even she wasn't sure if she could win now. Chen Shang realized that when he was refining high-level pellets and was inspecting the other party's pill furnace, he placed the ingredients inside. As such, no one knew what kind of ingredients were used to refine the pellet, but it was also to prevent the ingredients from leaking out. The pill techniques of the sky-piercing sky sector also not simple. Chen Shang immediately understood something. When Chao Yu was refining pills, he was actually using a light golden flame. This flame was not his original flame, but rather something he had used to change it. Chen Shang could only see that the fire was pale golden, but he did not know what benefits it had for refining pills. He continued to observe, and an hour later, he discovered that the herbs in Chao Yu's furnace had already been refined into a very viscous liquid. It was much faster than Xie Chaoyan's. Chao Yan, what is the name of the Skypale sex alchemy technique? Chen Shang asked. Yes, it's called the Crossroads Dao technique. You won't be able to tell anything from the name. Xie Chaoyan was relatively relaxed now. Oh, he has already refined all of the medicinal ingredients, so you are much slower than him. Chen Shang said, and from his appearance, it seems that the quality of the medicinal liquid he refined was very high. The golden flames he used made the medicinal liquid he refined look very special and contained a very strong energy. He used golden flames. Can you really see inside his pill furnace? Xie Chaoyan asked in surprise. Really, do you know anything about these golden flames? Chen Shang asked as he became more serious. Yes, it is said that this type of flame has a very special power. When burning medicinal herbs, it can raise the quality of the medicinal herbs by a lot. This flame was produced from their unhindered pill arts. Xie Chaoyan said, seems like I won't be able to relax this time. Chao Yan, at this rate, you will definitely lose. I don't have any more than 2 billion jade money. Chen Shang said. Who asked you to be so reckless? I will do my best to defeat him. Of course, Xie Chaoyan didn't want to lose the 2 billion, which gave her a lot of motivation. Chen Shang thought for a while, then sent a sound transmission to her. Chao Yan, looks like you can only take the risk right now. I will pass on 2 techniques to you, so that you can refine higher quality pills. Of course, I don't know if it's suitable for you to use. You can see for yourself whether you can use it in combination with your pill techniques. Alright, Xie Chaoyan immediately replied. Naturally, she was very willing to learn the pill techniques that Chen Shang had taught her. After that, Chen Shang imparted to Xie Chaoyan the 2 relatively easier techniques within the heavenly alchemy, as they were mainly used to help her improve her quality when concocting pills. One of them was to merge one's power into the flame while refining the medicinal herbs. When one was being burned and refined by the flames, one's power would seep into the medicinal herbs, increasing the quality of the medicinal herbs. This was also the reason why Chen Shang was able to maintain his high quality when refining the pellets for many years. Furthermore, it was also because of the special method of heavenly alchemy to release fire around the time the pellet was condensed. It was merely 2 small techniques for Chen Shang, but it was extremely important to Xie Chaoyan as it was extremely difficult for her to raise even a little bit of quality in her current situation. However, the 2 techniques that Chen Shang had passed down to her could actually greatly improve the quality. It should be helpful. Your pill forging skills are indeed brilliant. Xie Chaoyan praised. She also knew that Chen Shang didn't really like her, if not he would not have casually passed it down to her. Right now, it was useless for Chen Shang to teach her his superior refining skills. He would need some time to digest them. Then how are you going to repay me? The 2 alchemy techniques that I've passed on to you are extremely precious. Chen Shang laughed. If I win, I can make a lot of money. Isn't that enough? Xie Chaoyan said. Of course it's not enough, I don't lack jade money now. Chen Shang laughed. Wait till I win. If your 2 pill concocting skills are of great help, I won't owe you anything. Xie Chaoyan replied, I need to concentrate. We'll talk about it when it's over. Chen Shang continued to use the power of the God's Eye to look at Chao Yu's furnace. The medicinal liquid in the furnace had already turned a thick gold, releasing a strong gold light. At one glance it was clear that the quality was extremely high. What kind of flame is this? It can actually continuously improve its quality when it's being burned. It seems that its quality has increased exponentially. No wonder so many people don't think too highly of her beauty. Chen Shang exclaimed in his heart. Time flew by quickly. It seemed like there was only an hour left before the end. However, Xie Chaoyan and his team had already completed their mission and it looked like they were in a rush as well. After about an hour, Chao Yu finally opened the pill furnace. 4 pills. Chen Shang had seen Chao Yu condensing 4 pills just now, and when he was condensing the pills, the quality had increased yet again. The reason why Chao Yu was able to refine such a high-quality pill was mainly because of his strange flame. This made Chen Zhang's heart itch. If he had this flame, then maybe the quality would have increased even more when he was refining the pill. It seems that Brother Chao has improved a lot. It is obvious from one look that your 4 Dao Ji Yu Dan S are of a much higher quality than the ones you refined before. A middle-aged man laughed. I'm not too sure either, but in short, I have decided to win today. Although the infinite Dan method is strong, Xie Chaoyan has not learned the essence, otherwise, he would not have lost to Chen Shang. Chao Yu smiled faintly, and then looked at Chen Shang with some disdain. Chao Yu was very satisfied with the Dao Ji Yu Dan that he had refined today. He felt that today's exceptional performance was much better than when he had practiced before. 3,000 points. Chao Yu nodded with a smile. Looks like challenging the higher rankings on Dan God list of 8 wastelands isn't a problem. The records of the pill gods in the Dan God list of 8 wastelands are way too poor compared to me right now. Chao Yu saw that he could get 3000 HP per pill, which made him even more proud. He actually looked down on the god of pills above Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Don't we allow him to improve? Chen Shang laughed. It's hard to say whether or not you can enter Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Chao Yu laughed and placed the second Dao Ji Yu Dan into the well. According to what I know, Xie Chaoyan's highest quality Dao Ji Yu Dan was only 1500. Although there are 5 pills, the total quality is not as high as what I have now. Chao Yu then placed another 3000 quality pellets into the Dao Ji Yu Dan in his hands. That was a total of 12,000 points. This was indeed very high quality. Ning Quan immediately laughed. Chen Shang, in order to win over my junior master, it doesn't matter if you eat something or lose 2 billion, just keep up the effort. It's fine if you lose 5 billion, but if I lose 2 billion, it's definitely nothing. Of course, your junior master has not managed to refine the Dao Ji Yu Dan yet, so you came to a conclusion too early. Chen Shang also laughed. Mentioning the fact that Ning Quan had lost 5 billion, Ning Quan's face became ugly. He had always kept this matter in his heart. Chapter 2449. Seeing Xie Chaoyan's calm expression, Chen Shang was secretly relieved. Although Xie Chaoyan had just learned how to refine pills, she had used it extremely well now and her quality had increased by a lot. Chen Shang, if you don't accept it, why don't you compete with Chao Yu and refine a cauldron? Huang Tian also thought that Chao Yu would win for sure. When Huang Tian came to this city, he started to understand the alchemy gods above Dan God list of 8 wastelands, and all of them knew the overall quality of those alchemy gods. So now that he saw Chao Yu concoct a total of 12,000 points in quality, and a high-grade king-level pill at that, he immediately believed that Chao Yu had won. Indeed, I will not compete with him. He is not qualified, Chao Yu said with a cold smile. At this moment, his face was full of arrogance, as though he had already defeated Xie Chaoyan. You are not qualified in my eyes. If I were to refine a Dao Mark Dan, I will definitely not lose to you. Chen Shang smiled faintly. The last time I fought with Xie Chaoyan, what I refined was a failure, but the quality was already that high, and now I can successfully refine a pill. Chen Zhang's single pellet's quality was over 10,000, which really made many alchemists exclaim in amazement. Chao Yu only snorted coldly. He had no choice but to admit that Chen Shang still had some ability. To be honest, if I knew how to refine Dao Ji Yu Dan, defeating you wouldn't be a problem at all. Chen Shang laughed. I simply do not put you in my eyes, because you can't even win against Xie Chaoyan. Chen Shang would not lose to his opponent in a bickering match. Chao Yu did not say anything now. He did indeed want to compete with Chen Shang in refining the Dao Mark Dan, but he was worried that he would lose. Although he was arrogant, he was not stupid, and knew clearly what it meant for Chen Shang to refine a single Dao Mark Dan with over 10,000 points of quality. Time was almost up. Xie Chaoyan had also opened his pill furnace. Only 3 pills. Senior Master, this is not your true strength. Ning Quan immediately shouted in shock. Everyone present had heard that Xie Chaoyan had refined 5 Dao Jiu Dan S in a single pot. Although they only had 3 pills that glittered with golden light, they did not think that she had a higher quality than Chao Yu. Chao Yu's Dao Jiu Dan S had a single quality of 3000, and that was the highest one in the history of the Dao Jiu Dan. Even if Xie Chaoyan had a single quality of 3000, her 3 pellets only had a total quality of 9000. Xie Chaoyan didn't know how high the quality of the 3 Dao Jiu Dan he had refined were either. He only knew that she had improved a lot, because she had used the 2 small techniques that Chen Shang had taught her. Xie Chaoyan's pill furnace had always been a great help to her quality, and with her infinite Dan method, and her current pill techniques, she felt that she wouldn't lose. Xie Chaoyan carried the 3 Dao Jiu Dan S that she had just refined and walked to the side of the testing board. At this moment, everyone held their breaths as they watched. If Xie Chaoyan lost, she would be kicked out of Dan God list of 8 wastelands, and in the pill refining circle, this was explosive news. As one of the few women in the Dan God list of 8 wastelands, Xie Chaoyan had attracted a lot of attention over the years. Under everyone's gazes, Xie Chaoyan placed a Dao Jiu Dan on the pit. 5000. Chen Shang smiled faintly. The quality of a single grain is 5000, this is over 2000 more than Chao Yu's. Everyone started to pant. The quality of the single pill was much higher than Chao Yu, it was almost twice as high, causing Chao Yu's expression to instantly become ugly. The second pill also cost 5000. Everyone exclaimed once again. 2 pills was already over 10,000. The third time, it was 6,000. Chao Yu's face was ashen. He who was previously so proud was now like a man who had been slapped dozens of times in public. His face was almost green. 2 billion, give it to me. Xie Chaoyan coldly said to Chao Yu. At this moment, Chao Yu was a little unsteady. He did not expect Xie Chaoyan to actually improve so much in a short period of time. He looked at the smiling Chen Shang beside Xie Chaoyan and immediately understood that it was Chen Shang who had given him the pill techniques. Humph. Chao Yu tossed a storage bag to Xie Chaoyan. After Xie Chaoyan finished counting the items, he gave it to Chen Shang. For me, Chen Shang was a little surprised. You trust me so much, consider it as me thanking you. Xie Chaoyan said. This caused everyone to be extremely jealous. Chen Shang bet 2 billion just now, and now he could receive 10 billion, and Xie Chaoyan gave him another 2 billion. Of course, the thing that attracted the most attention was the relationship between Chen Shang and the 200 million jade money. After Chen Shang obtained 10 billion from the native bank, when he was about to leave with Xie Chaoyan, he was suddenly called back. Wait, the one who spoke was a middle-aged man wearing a luxurious yellow robe. Chao Kun, are you here to avenge your son? Xie Chaoyan sneered. Not bad, he was unwilling to lose. Chao Kun smiled faintly. He felt that your performance today was a bit abnormal, but he couldn't find any problems, so I plan to compete with you again. He means my left arm. Do you think everyone around you is blind? If he really said that, then let him come out. I will properly take care of him, and actually slander me like that. Xie Chaoyan was instantly enraged. Everyone was slightly shocked that Xie Chaoyan actually wanted to take action. In this city, private battles were not allowed. Miss Xie, don't be angry. This is only an excuse for that boy to refuse to accept your loss. That's why I've come to challenge you. Regardless of whether I've lost or won, he has nothing more to say. Chao Kun laughed. I'm tired today. If I were to compete with you again, my performance would be terrible. How about this? Why don't you compete with him? Xie Chaoyan said, but he only knows how to refine Dao Mark Dan. Xie Chaoyan looked at Chen Shang and said, he has once defeated me. If you defeat him, it's equivalent to winning against me. Chen Shang laughed out loud. If Uncle Chao, you don't think there's anything good about winning against me, I can bet with you. I just 10 billion won, so why don't we bet 10 billion? Chen Shang was completely confident in his ability to refine a Dao Mark Dan. He could even refine a Dao Mark Dan of extremely high quality with a magic method furnace. What would happen if he used a Chuangshi God furnace? There were a lot of people around, and they were all stunned. Chen Shang had just won 10 billion, now he actually wanted to take it out to gamble. Of course, it didn't matter if Chen Shang lost, as he could easily win 10 billion. What is it? You don't dare, or do you not have that many jade money? Xie Chaoyan's tone was filled with ridicule, as if he was saying, if you don't have that many jade money, get lost already. Chao Kun didn't know what to do now either. If he turned around and left, others would say that he couldn't afford to bet. If he bet with Chen Shang, and was worried about losing, he could only take out 5 billion jade money. Chapter 2450. Last time, Ning Quan lost 5 billion to Chen Shang, and he was scolded to death by a large group of his ancestors. It was because that money belonged to the Ning family that gave him his business, but he did not expect to lose it all instantly. Uncle Chow, it doesn't matter if you don't want to bet. We'll spar again next time. Chen Shang laughed, his face full of ridicule. Everyone was secretly laughing. Chao Kun originally wanted to help his son regain back his dignity, but who knew that it would be so difficult for him to do it now? How about this? Chao Kun was startled for a moment, and finally thought of a plan to slow down the fighting, and said, tomorrow is the Zhang clan's patriarch's birthday, we will compete at that time, and it will add to the excitement of the birthday banquet. 10 billion. If you don't want to bet, then forget about it. Chen Shang said as his mouth twitched. If you can't afford to bet, then just say so. Everyone will laugh at you. Who doesn't know that 10 billion isn't something you can casually take out? Xie Chaoyan said coldly. Although Chen Shang was not lacking in jade money, someone had delivered some to him, so he would definitely not refuse. Xie Chaoyan had a very good relationship with Chen Shang now, and she also hated this Chao Kun. 10 billion is 10 billion. How about we compete in the Zhang clan tomorrow? Chao Kun said loudly. He was a man, and was even ranked above the Dan God list of 8 wastelands. He actually did not dare to accept the challenge of a Dao Dan realm child, and would definitely be laughed at, so he gritted his teeth and accepted the challenge. See you tomorrow then. It doesn't matter if you don't come, everyone will understand you. Chen Shang chuckled, with Xie Chaoyan already walking in front. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he hurriedly chased after him. Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan returned to the villa and chuckled. This jade money is earning money too fast. I don't even need to sell these pills to earn more jade money. It's not so easy to meet someone who's so stupid. If Chao Kun loses to you, everyone will be more cautious next time. Xie Chaoyan said. As soon as she came back, she sat on the chair. It was obvious that she was exhausted. Luckily it went well today. I was almost defeated by that guy. Xie Chaoyan sighed softly. I've already said it before, you can only lose to me, you can't lose to others. Chen Shang took out a glass of fruit juice and gave it to her, then smiled. You said that you would give me some benefits, could it be that it's those 2 billion? 2 billion is still not enough, it's a huge amount. If it's a person, it would be very difficult to take it out. Ning Quan's 5 billion and Chao Yu's 2 billion, are all from the powers behind them. Xie Chaoyan said. Chen Shang laughed. Then I don't need it, I'll return it to you, I want your other repayment. Xie Chaoyan frowned. What can I repay you with? The pill formulas. Chen Shang rubbed his chin, and looked at Xie Chaoyan with a strange expression. This made Xie Chaoyan immediately understand. Little bastard, don't you have too much guts? We've only known each other for a short period of time, and you already have this kind of idea. Xie Chaoyan coldly snorted. Although we've only known each other for a short time, don't you think we're very suitable? Think back on it, there are a few men that can interact with you like this. Chen Shang laughed. Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan, who were inside the Yuyao Mountain Villa, were also shocked by Chen Shang. Chen Shang had this thought about Xie Chaoyan, and even attacked so quickly. However, they didn't think much of it when they thought about it. They were just taken down easily by Chen Shang, who was even his female slave. Then what do you want? Xie Chaoyan looked at Chen Zhang's handsome face and asked after hesitating for a moment. Just let me kiss your little mouth. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. No, Xie Chaoyan immediately rejected it, I'll at most give you a kiss on the cheek. I want a kiss, Chen Shang shouted. If you keep making trouble, I'm leaving. Xie Chaoyan glared at Chen Shang with hidden bitterness. Alright, let's kiss on the cheek. Chen Shang said. Hurry up. Xie Chaoyan's ice-cold face slightly blushed, and then, he closed his eyes. Chen Shang looked at Xie Chaoyan's slightly pursed lips, then moved his head over and hugged Xie Chaoyan at the same time, and actually forcefully kissed Xie Chaoyan's lips. Xie Chaoyan was shocked, and immediately shouted out. She was fine if she did not scream, but when she shouted, Chen Zhang's attack succeeded. She really wanted to send Chen Shang flying, but she was worried about injuring Chen Shang, so she quickly retreated, struggling, but did not succeed. Little scoundrel, I can't go around you. Xie Chaoyan sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. He was very angry. At first, Xie Chaoyan was very uncooperative, but since she didn't have much experience with it, the process wasn't going smoothly for her. However, Chen Shang had a lot of experience in this field. Not long after, Xie Chaoyan fell and kissed him. Of course, it was only for a short period of time, and Chen Zhang's goal had been achieved. When the lips parted, Chen Shang immediately defended himself. HMPH, return 2 billion to me. Xie Chaoyan pinched Chen Shang with all his strength and shouted. Chen Shang took out 2 billion, licked his lips, and said with a smile, it's only a kiss and it's 2 billion, it's really a bit expensive. Don't bring this up again. Just now, it was as if nothing had happened. When Xie Chaoyan thought back to this matter, she also had a complicated feeling. She had never experienced something like this before, and even though she was very angry, her anger towards Chen Shang was also only a bit heavier. If it was anyone else, they would have been killed by her earlier. Here you go. Chen Shang passed over the 2 billion jade money, then said with a smile, Big Sister Qianyan, would you hate me? I hate you. Xie Chaoyan took it and fiercely glared at him. Since you've been single for so long, you should at least make do with me. Chen Shang laughed. HMPH, don't think that I don't know you're a romantic one. You have 2 female slaves by your side, who knows where a large group of them might be hiding. Xie Chaoyan was so angry that he scrunched his face. Chaoyan, do you have the Dao Ji Yu Dan's medicinal ingredients? Chen Shang asked. Give me one. Take it. Xie Chaoyan passed Chen Shang a set of Dao Ji Yu Dan's medicinal ingredients. There were only 3 ingredients. Do you need a pill formula? No need, I don't have any plans to refine Dao Ji Yu Dan yet. Chen Shang laughed, then went to touch Xie Chaoyan's face, and Xie Chaoyan opened his hands. But Chen Shang did not give up, and continued to play with Xie Chaoyan, as if he was an angry child. After Xie Chaoyan could not bear it any longer, he pinched the flesh of his body. Don't think I'm easy to bully. Xie Chaoyan coldly snorted. I'm tired, so I'm going to rest first. Little bastard, don't act recklessly. Don't force me to beat you up. After Xie Chaoyan finished speaking, he hurriedly returned to his room. Chen Shang laughed, licked her lips, and thought back to that feeling just now. Was so angry at heart, she wanted to slap him, but she did not do anything. She did not know why she did not do anything. After Xie Chaoyan returned to his room, he laid on the chair and looked at the methods inside the heavenly alchemy. He felt that many of the powerful pill techniques in this era should be related to the heavenly alchemy. Chapter 2451. The most obvious characteristic of Chao Yu's crosscut pill technique was that it could release a special kind of flame. When refining the medicinal ingredients with this flame, the quality of the medicinal liquid that was separated would be higher. Chen Shang remembered that there was a similar method in the heavenly alchemy, but he was not sure if the Sky Zong School's sky-crossing pill art was good enough. He just sat there on the chair with his eyes closed, searching. It wasn't until late at night that he opened his eyes. Could it be that all sorts of pill techniques in this era were learned from the heavenly alchemy? Chen Shang had already found a method to cultivate the sky-crossing pill art. It was called the sublimation refining method. It was formed from the fusion of several methods. I can find the infinite Dan method in the heavenly alchemy, and now I found the crosscut pill technique. At this time, Chen Shang was even more curious about the origin of the heavenly alchemy. It had actually spread among the various great powers of this era, and these great powers were all sects with extremely high alchemy skills. Chen Shang entered the secret room, took out the Dao Mark Dan's medicine, and used the sublimation refining method that he had just comprehended. After using this method of refinement, the flames he released were actually purple. This kind of purple flame consumed a lot of Dao Yuan immortal power, and was more than 10 times the flame that he normally used. Even so, Chen Shang was secretly excited, because this proved that the sublimation refining method that he had just comprehended was the same as the sky-crossing pellet. It was just that the color of the flame that he released was different. Is it this kind of purple-colored power of mine or the golden flames of Chao Yu's group that's strong? Chen Shang was very curious about this. He immediately used this flame to refine the Dao Mark Dan. This time, he did not plan to use the crash method. He wanted to see how high of a quality the Dalmark Dan would be made out of by using this kind of flame. Right now, he could only use this kind of flame to refine the Dalmark Dan's medicinal ingredients and then use the pattern refining method to refine the 3 types of into one. After releasing the purple flames with all his strength, the refining speed of the spirit herbs was extremely fast. In a short moment, all the spirit herbs were refined, and he immediately used the pattern refining technique to refine the scattered spirit grain. Much faster. Chen Shang was secretly pleasantly surprised. Of course, the fastest was when he used the bones in his eyes to refine it. It was just that the quality was not as high as it was now. Just condense 4 pills just like before. Chen Shang only wanted to know how much the quality of the flames he used increased. He quickly formed 4 Dalmark Dan. The quality is much higher, and the outside is even emitting a faint purple luster. Is this because of the purple flames? Chen Shang looked carefully at the 4 Dalmark Dan-s. He did not have any quality testing tools in his hands, so he looked at Xie Chaoyan's room. He had only knocked twice on Xie Chaoyan's door when Xie Chaoyan's voice came from inside. Little bastard, there's something that's happened in the middle of the night, why not say it again in the morning? Chen Shang had originally planned to look for Xie Chaoyan in the morning, but he was very curious now. If he did not get the results, he would definitely not be able to rest in peace. Sister Qianyan, there's something important that I didn't want to disturb you with. I promise I won't do anything bad and be honest, said. A man knocking on a woman's door in the middle of the night would definitely raise her guard, not to mention that Chen Shang had forcefully kissed her yesterday. HMPH, Xie Chaoyan snorted, and opened the door. What is it? Tell me, Xie Chaoyan said. Lend me the items for your test. Chen Shang said somewhat embarrassedly. Were you training in refining Dalmark Dan yesterday? You were going all out too, take it. Xie Chaoyan handed over the test disc to Chen Shang, and decided to attend the Zhang clan master's birthday banquet at dawn. At that time, Chen Shang would have to bet 10 billion, so it would be normal for him to train. After Chen Shang received it, he immediately took out the Dalmark Dan that he had refined using his normal flames. After continuously testing a few of them, he found that they were all of around 180 to 230 in quality. What are you doing? Weren't you the one who created the Dalmark Dan after the collision? Why are you only of this little quality? Xie Chaoyan frowned slightly. You didn't mean to disturb me, did you? Of course not, I just learned a method. I was testing the quality of the Dalmark Dan that I refined before. Chen Shang laughed. Now he took out the Dalmark Dan he had refined using the sublimation refining method to release flames. Its appearance carried a layer of purple luster, and Xie Chaoyan could tell the difference with a glance. The quality of what you just refined is indeed higher than the ones you tested. Quick, let's see what the quality is. Xie Chaoyan urged. Chen Shang nodded, and then picked up one of the stones. The results of the test made Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan very surprised, as it was actually 3,000 high-quality pills. After that, Chen Shang took the remaining 3 pellets. Their quality also reached 3,000, making it into a total of 12,000 pills. It's still a little low, Chen Shang said, because it was much lower than the ones he refined using the crash method. He refined 2 of them using the 3 crashes. How did you do it? Xie Chaoyan asked. She knew that if Chen Shang did not use the crash method, the pills refined would be of a lower quality, around 2 to 300, but now, it was 3,000. Kiss me and I'll tell you. Chen Shang laughed. HMPH, don't even think about it. Xie Chaoyan remembered that Chen Shang had forcefully kissed her, and was secretly angry in his heart, as he immediately closed the door. Hold on, Chen Shang immediately said. Chao Yan, do you still remember the Chao Yu's pill techniques yesterday? Unhindered pill art, have you learned the unhindered pill art? You only took 1 look to learn it. This is impossible. Xie Chaoyan was slightly surprised. The quality of the pills refined by Chao Yu's crossing world pill technique was indeed very high. Of course, I did not watch him learn it, but chose to comprehend it myself. I was able to release a kind of flame that would raise the quality of the medicinal liquid while refining medicinal ingredients. Moreover, releasing this kind of flame is 10 times more than what I used to possess. Chen Shang said. How is that possible? You only needed to look at it for a moment to realize that pill techniques are that easy to comprehend. I have my own infinite Dan method, but I have not been able to comprehend anything for so many years. Xie Chaoyan was even more surprised, but she had no choice but to believe Chen Zhang's words. I feel like I'm still improving. I was just using the crossing pill arts and didn't even join the 2 small techniques I taught you. Chen Shang chuckled. If I use my crash method again, my quality will definitely break through once more. Chen Shang was excited just thinking about it, but Xie Chaoyan was a little jealous. She knew that Chen Shang himself had a very mysterious and powerful pill technique, but now he had even learned the crossing world pill technique. Seeing Xie Chaoyan's jealous expression, Chen Shang smirked. Do you want to learn? Xie Chaoyan coldly snorted. I don't want to. Then he closed the door. Chapter 2452. Chen Shang returned to his room and laid on his bed. He needed to rest well for tomorrow's competition. If he won, he would have 20 billion jade money. When dawn was about to break, Chen Shang woke up. Xie Chaoyan had also woken up very early. She now knew that Chen Shang was a bad guy, so she was always on guard against him. Of course, with her strength, she could definitely beat Chen Shang up, but she couldn't do it. Today, I will definitely obtain complete victory. Chen Shang laughed. There will definitely be a lot of people coming today. The Zhang family's head has a lot of face, there might be more than 10 people from the Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Xie Chaoyan said. She also did not sleep well last night. On one hand, her emotions were complicated by the fact that she had been forcefully kissed, and on the other hand, she was racking her brains to think of how Chen Shang had managed to comprehend the crossing world pill technique. That's even better. I'll let them know that the Dan God list of 8 wastelands is just a child's play. Chen Shang was now full of confidence. Today, he had competed with Chao Kun in refining Dalmark Dan, and he would use all of the techniques available to him. After all, those were 10 billion. Zhang Xian shouted from outside, Brother Shen, wake up quickly, the sun is shining on your buttocks. Hearing that, Chen Shang laughed, this boy has come to find me. Let's go, we will go to the Zhang clan together. The core members of the Zhang clan had also moved into the city. This birthday banquet was only being held with the participation of the core members of the Zhang clan. They would then invite a few more famous figures to attend. Old guys usually had a lot of face, so they would try their best to invite the big shots, showing that they had a lot of power. Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan walked over to open the door. Originally, Zhang Xian wanted to tease Chen Shang a little more, but when she saw Xie Chaoyan's ice-cold beautiful face, she immediately became speechless. Zhang Xian had also heard that Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan were very close. Now that he saw Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan coming out together, and it was so early, Xie Chaoyan must have spent the night inside. So the two of you are together. Zhang Xian coughed dryly, then laughed, that's good too, Master Xie is also an esteemed guest of our Zhang family, let's go together. Chen Shang patted Zhang Xian's shoulder, and laughed, don't be so formal, we are all on the same side. Zhang Xian, you actually didn't mention this to me. Quote. Zhang Xian knew right away that it was Xie Chaoyan who told Chen Shang, so he curled his lips, this is too embarrassing, of course I won't tell you. Although I left the limitless battlefield, my whole body relaxed, and people aren't staying in that place. Xie Chaoyan also had the same thought. Zhang Xian had his own carriage, so he only got in after he invited Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan in. Brother Shen, you are now a famous person with 10 billion in wealth. You are a great benefactor. My grandfather was extremely happy when he heard that I invited you here. Zhang Xian laughed. Today, I will be sparring pill refining with Chao Kun at the lower price. I will defeat him ruthlessly, at that time, will your grandfather be unhappy? Chen Shang said. Of course not. If something like that happened during his birthday banquet, it would be a good thing for him. In the future, when he brags with others, he would be able to talk about a lot of things. Zhang Xian laughed. Oh right, I didn't prepare any present. Chen Shang looked at Xie Chaoyan, then asked, Chao Yan, have you prepared a birthday present? I forgot about that. Quote. Of course, I thought you were already prepared. Xie Chaoyan said as he took out a wrapped case, this is an emperor pill the first refined. Its main effect is to let it have a young appearance. Master Xie, you are so generous. If my grandfather knew, he would definitely be very happy. He has always wanted to regain his youthful appearance like this. Zhang Xian said in shock. The birthday present I gave him should be the Dalmark Dan that I refined. It's useless to him, but it will make a lot of sense. Chen Shang laughed. Could the quality be very high? Zhang Xian knew immediately. Of course, that will be the unique Dalmark Dan with the highest quality. Chen Shang laughed. He gave Xie Chaoyan the pill he refined previously. It had a 2% chance of quality, but at that time, he had yet to learn the sublimation refining method. Xie Chaoyan also wanted to know how high the quality of Dao Mark Dan would be after Chen Shang comprehended that kind of pill technique. After Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan got off the carriage, they attracted the attention of the crowd and many people started to discuss about them softly. Regarding those rumors, Xie Chaoyan did not mind them at all. After all, she felt that being together with Chen Shang was something that had a lot of face. Zhang Xian led Chen Shang into a luxurious hall. There were many tables full of food and drinks. The moment Chen Shang entered, he saw Ning Quan and Huang Tian's stinky faces, and they also saw Chen Shang. Zhang Xian's grandfather was called Zhang Yingqi and was a very straightforward old man. There were a lot of wrinkles on his face, but he had a face full of smiles. Xie Chaoyan went forward and said a few words of congratulations, then presented his own gift. This is Master Xia's unique cosmetics pill. It's a low-grade Emperor stage pill. It's most suitable for an old guy like me. Many thanks. Zhang Yingqi never thought that Xie Chaoyan would gift him such a generous gift. He immediately thanked him. His voice was very loud, causing many of the pill refining masters to be secretly surprised upon hearing it. There's no need to be so polite. Elder Zhang, why don't you try out the effects of this pill? Xie Chaoyan said. Zhang Yingqi ate the pill on the spot, and after consuming it, he returned to his normal appearance as a middle-aged man. His hair became completely black, which made many of the wrinkled elderly people feel extremely envious. Xie Chaoyan took out such a gift. If she needed help in the future, Zhang Yingqi would definitely help out. It showed just how strong Zhang Yingqi was. Otherwise, Xie Chaoyan would not gift him such a gift. Normally, alchemist above Dan God list of 8 wastelands would be called a master. That was why Zhang Yingqi and Zhang Xian called him that. This is Master Shen. Zhang Yingqi looked at Chen Shang and chuckled. Although Chen Shang was able to defeat him wasn't in the Dan God list of 8 wastelands, in Zhang Yingqi's eyes, he was still a master. I am not a master yet. I have yet to refine a Digi-Dan. Chen Shang laughed faintly. Elder Zhang, I really do not know what kind of gift to prepare for you. I am truly sorry. But later, I will compete with Mr. Chao Kun from the Skylane sect, and at that time, I will gift the Dao Mark Dan I refined to you. How about it? Quote. No problem. I heard that the quality of your single Dao Mark Dan exceeds 10,000. This is extremely rare. To me, this is a rare collection. Zhang Yingqi laughed. When you compete with Master Chao later, I hope that you will not hurt our friendship. This is not good. Of course not. The reason we arranged to compete here today is to add fuel to the fire. Chen Shang said, then looked at Chao Kun and Chao Yu father and son. Beside him was an old man, and that old man was clearly the leader of the sky-piercing sect. Chao Wushwang is here too. I thought he was in closed-door cultivation. He is ranked 2nd in Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Xie Chaoyan said. Zhang Yingqi laughed. Not only is Grandmaster Wu Shuang from the Skisword sect here, even the infinite master of the limitless pill Dao is there. He is over there. Chapter 2453. Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan looked in the direction that Zhang Yingqi pointed. There, a white-haired old man wearing a Taiji yin and yang map robe was conversing with a few other elders. In the past, infinite master of the limitless pill Dao was ranked 2nd, but later on, he was defeated by Chao Wushwang. However, later on, Infinite Master also defeated 3rd place, and was still ranked 3rd in the Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Zhang Xian said. Then what about the first? Why didn't they go for the first place? Chen Shang asked. The one ranked first is very mysterious. I only know that he is called Kong Ming. He did not have any background, but his pill techniques are very superb. Grandmaster Wu Shuang and Infinite Master both lost miserably to him. Zhang Yingqi said. Xie Chaoyan also nodded his head, and it rarely appears even when it's fake for so many years. Everyone would also dare to challenge him, because he would have to pay a huge price. As for what the price is, I will have to ask the person in charge of the Dan God list of 8 wastelands in charge to know. Quote. Zhang Xian patted Chen Zhang's shoulder, and laughed. Master Shen, with so many masters present, do you feel pressured? Chen Shang chuckled. I don't feel the slightest bit of pressure, but I am looking forward to fighting with Mr. Chao Kun as soon as possible. A lot of people gradually came over, and everyone sat at their seats. Chen Shang, Xie Chaoyan and Zhang Xian all sat at the same table. At this time, Zhang Yingqi had also walked up to the raised platform constructed above the Great Hall. After exchanging some polite words, he publicly expressed his gratitude to Xie Chaoyan for the beauty emperor pill he gave to him, allowing him to regain his middle-aged appearance. His current fame was so great, and was also paid much attention to by the masters. After all, Chen Shang had defeated Xie Chaoyan before, and even won over that many jade money, and now, he was even prepared to bet 10 billion with Chao Kun. Today, 2 of my friends on the stage will compete and refine a Dao Mark Dan just to cheer this old man on. Although it is a relatively ordinary Dao Mark Dan, it will be the highest quality furnace that they have ever refined. Zhang Yingqi laughed loudly. Now, I invite Master Chao and Master Shen to come up. Chen Shang and Chao Kun immediately walked over, and cupped their hands to everyone on the stage. In order to increase the pressure on themselves, they all took out 10 billion jade money to gamble, and this might be the richest bet in the city. If I can personally witness this at my birthday banquet, it would be a very generous congratulatory gift. Zhang Yingqi laughed openly. This matter had already spread since yesterday, so the match between Chen Shang and Chen Shang was also the focus of attention today. At this time, Chao Wuxuang walked up as well. Just as he walked up, the Infinite Master of the Limitless Pill Dao also came up. Grand Master Wu Shuang and Infinite Master are currently ranked 2nd or 3rd in Dan God list of 8 wastelands. With them watching the competition on the spot, we can guarantee a fair certificate. Zhang Yingqi then asked the 2 masters, I'll leave this to you too. Before the competition, both parties have an hour to adjust their state of mind. Chao Wuxuang said blandly. He was Chao Kun's father, a leader of the Skyland sect. Even though his voice was calm, it carried a sense of majesty. That Grand Master Wuxuang did not say anything. He just stood to the side and watched. Mr. Chao Kun is also from the top of the Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Although he is only ranked 15th, he has been ranked since many years ago. He definitely has improved a lot over the years, and even his son has challenged Xie Chaoyan. This was what Ning Quan had said. Furthermore, he entered the Dan God list of 8 wastelands a lot earlier than Xie Chaoyan. It's just that for the past few years, he didn't want to challenge the higher ranks, otherwise his ranking would have been even higher. Quote, was Chao Yu's father when they competed. Furthermore, he was an extremely famous master, so he might be able to refine a single pellet at least 5,000 of them. If it was 4 or 5 of the Dao Mark Dan, the total quality would be 20,000. Quote, it seems that after the 3 great native bankas have built the city, it's time for the Dan God list of 8 wastelands to be updated. Many masters have made great progress, and their rankings are also from long ago. Everyone should not underestimate Chen Shang. He is still very young right now, and his cultivation is still in the early stages of the Dao Dan realm. Everyone was discussing, after all this era was dominated by pills, otherwise the alchemist above the Dan God list of 8 wastelands would not be called a master. Chen Shang took out the heavenly furnace. He felt that the heavenly furnace was enough to handle today's competition. Of course, if Chao Wuxuang and Infinite Master were not by his side, he would have taken out his Chuangshi God furnace. This pill furnace looks a little familiar. Zhang Yingqi suddenly said, and then he walked up the stage. Can I take a look? Zhang Yingqi asked. Of course you can. In any case, I'll have the 2 master check it out later. Chen Shang smiled slightly. Chao Wuxuang and Infinite Master also frowned slightly, because the pattern on the outside of the pill furnace looked very mysterious. Sure enough, Zhang Yingqi exclaimed, what's the name of this pill furnace? Heavenly furnace, Chen Shang said. Chao Wuxuang and Infinite Master were startled, their faces full of shock. This is Long Ju Shao's work. Infinite Master quickly replied, but he has already been missing for many years. In the past, he was Eternal Life Native Bank's famous money maker. He's also a very terrifying dragon. Chao Wuxuang frowned. How did you obtain this pill furnace? I picked it up, Chen Shang said. Chao Wuxuang and Infinite Master both had looks of disbelief. How could this be picked up so easily? Ah Kun, take out your pill furnace. Chao Wuxuang said. Chao Kun immediately took out a 3-legged pill furnace. It looked like a cauldron, but it was not. This is the Judian Dan Ding. Zhang Yingqi was surprised. Grand Master Wuxuang, this is the cauldron you used to concoct pills. I've already passed it on to Aken. Chao Wuxuang said. Junior is ill-informed. May I ask if this Judian Dan Ding is powerful? Chen Shang looked at the extremely ancient cauldron that he was facing. This is a heavenly artifact. Chao Wuxuang said indifferently, it's much stronger than your heavenly furnace. So that's how it is. Chen Shang praised. I also have a heavenly artifact, but that thing is too small, and can't be used to refine pills. Senior Wushwang's Judy and Dan Ding is truly envious of the younger generation. Chen Shang actually had a heavenly artifact as well. This was something like a phoenix feather or a Qilin horn, and there were only a handful of people in the entire wasteland who had such a thing. Even Chen Shang, the guy from the Dao Dan realm, had one. Can you broaden my horizons? Zhang Yingqi asked quickly. Chapter 2454. Chen Shang and Chao Kun were currently in a very good state. They were very happy and thought that they would win, being able to get the 6 divine artifacts from the other party. Let's prepare to start. Let's check the pill furnace. Chao Wushwang said to the Infinite Master. He even purposely revealed a proud smile towards him. After the inspection, Chao Wushwang said, since this competition is so important, how about we raise the time limit to 4 hours? No problem. Chen Shang nodded his head. The more time passed, the more beneficial it would be for him, and Chao Kun, who was on the other side, also thought the same. When the time comes, all the testing tools will be used by the 3 great native banks. All 3 great native banks are represented at the scene, and when the time comes, they will use their 3 great instruments to test it out. Chao Wushwang said. Alright, I have a lot of trust in the 3 great native banks. Chen Shang said, then took out the Dao Mark Dan's medicinal ingredients. The Dao Mark Dan was a type of pill that could be said to be difficult to make and difficult to make. The current competition was about how to make higher quality Dao Mark Dan's. After both parties took out the Dao Mark Dan's medicinal ingredients, Chao Wushwang and Infinite Master inspected them once more. Then, Zhang Yingqi announced the start of the competition. He was already very familiar with the heavenly furnace that Chen Shang was using to refine pills. Whether there was a pill furnace or not, the speed of the heavenly furnace was the same as the Chuangshi God furnace. If he were to refine a pill that he was not familiar with, the use of Chuangshi God furnace would be more stable. This was because Chuangshi God furnace had an extremely strong flame, and all sorts of mystical powers within the furnace would be able to play a stable role. He was only worried that the secret of the Chuangshi God furnace would be exposed. After all, they were still Chao Wushwang and Infinite Master. From the very beginning, Chen Shang had always used the sublimation refining method with all his might, releasing extremely strong purple flames, and from beginning to end, he had always used these flames to refine Dao Mark Dan. In addition, he would also join the crash method. This way, he would be able to continuously improve its quality and break through to the next level. Very quickly, he refined all of the spirit grain's ingredients. This was only for an hour. Then, he used the pattern refining technique to quickly refine all of the spirit grain into a clump of medicinal liquid. Currently, he was still using the purple flames to refine it. As long as he continued to refine it, he would be able to slowly improve the quality of the medicinal liquid. Chao Kun on the opposite side was the same. Chen Shang had learned the sublimation refining method from their unhindered pellet technique, only that the opponent had a golden flame. When this purple flame burns, it consumes an extraordinary amount of Daoyuan immortal power, but it can also increase the quality of the medicinal pellet through the usage of the flame. It can also convert the Daoyuan immortal power into a special power, and refine the pellet. After Chen Shang stabilized the clump of medicinal liquid, he split it into 8 clumps. He was going to use the crash method. Before using it, he had secretly used the black tortoise marks to form a spatial defense against the walls of the pill furnace. This would be able to block out the shockwaves from hitting the furnace. Because he had the experience of colliding with it many times, during the first collision, Chen Shang was very proficient and easily passed through. At this time, he was using his purple flames to burn the small particles that came out of the explosion. The quality of these small particles rose very fast under the incineration of the purple flames. Could it be that because of the collision, the absorption of the purple fire's sublimation force sped up? Chen Shang also didn't think that it would be like this. He had never tried it before. He quickly condensed these small particles into a group, then divided them into 8 groups. After using the purple flames to burn for a period of time, he once again began to collide with them. A violent purple light burst out from within the pill furnace along with a powerful shockwave. Luckily, he had already used his spatial energy to isolate the pill furnace. What a strong explosive force! Chen Shang was incomparably shocked. This was only the second crash, but it was actually even more ferocious than the first 3. It could only mean that the quality of the medicine crystal had increased by a lot under the purple flame's incineration. The small particles that had rammed into the pill furnace were just like the Milky Way on a summer night, but they were emitting purple rays of light. He once again released the purple flames to burn and sublimate. Chen Xiang and Chao Kun had not even finished refining the pill. It seemed that the time limit of 4 hours had made them feel much more relaxed, and they did not have a sense of urgency in their hearts, which would allow them to refine even higher quality pills. Chen Xiang had already split the newly formed medicine crystal into 8 groups, and was preparing to proceed with the 3 crashes. There were many people who had witnessed Chen Xiang and Xie Chaoyan refining Dao Mark Dan during their competition. At that time, Chen Zhang's pill furnaces shook continuously, with some movement that was very strong, but it was very stable now. Ning Quan and Huang Tian obviously wished for Chen Xiang to lose. This way, not only would Chen Xiang lose 10 billion jade money, he would also lose a very precious heavenly artifact. If Chen Xiang won, they would die of jealousy and hate Chen Xiang even more. With so many experts present, even if Ning Quan and Huang Tian wanted to disturb Chen Xiang, they didn't have the strength to do so. If they were discovered, the consequences would be severe. Although Xie Chaoyan wanted to stop Chen Xiang from making a bet earlier, she knew that Chen Xiang had a high chance of winning, because Chen Xiang had just learned the sublimation refining method. She also knew that Chen Xiang had never tried mixing the ingredients together like this before, so it was hard to say whether he would succeed or not. Furthermore, she was more worried about Chao Kun. Chao Kun had always been an expert in the crossing worlds pill art, and was even a pill god of the Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Now that he used the most powerful pill furnace in the entire wasteland, he was extremely strong. Chen Xiang was still going to refine a single pill this time. If this medicine crystal was to split into a few groups to compress, then the pressure would definitely be much less. If he were to compress a very large medicine crystal into a small pellet, the quality would definitely be very high, it would be even higher than dispersing. However, this was risky, and very difficult. This was also the reason why Xie Chaoyan always liked to separate when competing against Chen Xiang before, because there was a possibility that something might go wrong. As long as there was even the slightest mistake, it would be fatal. For example, during the first competition between Chen Xiang and the Dao Mark Dan that he had refined, they had failed, but the quality was still very high. Very quickly, the 4 hours were over. Chao Kun was the first to complete it. He took out 4 golden Dao Mark Dan from the pill furnace and started to condense the pills separately, thus it would be much easier and faster. Chapter 2455. Shen Xiang took out her own 6 realms god cup. This could also be considered a heavenly god equipment, but it was a bit smaller and its usage was not as great as a 6 realms mirrors is. Of course, this was only for the current Shen Xiang, because he already had the creation god well, so 6 realms god cup would not be used often. The use of 6 realms mirrors was the biggest, and they had a lot of power, so of course he wouldn't take them out. It is indeed small, Zhang Yingqi said. This is really a divine weapon, what use does it have? The main reason is because it can increase the age of the medicinal herbs. For example, if you add a 10,000-year ginseng, it can increase the age by 1 to 2,000 years in a short period of time. Shen Xiang said. When the alchemist present heard it, they couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. This was a very useful treasure for alchemist. Huang Tian suddenly understood why Shen Xiang had so many medicinal ingredients. It was obvious that he was relying on this small cup. Can you demonstrate it on the spot? Chao Wuxuang asked. He was extremely interested in the cup. If it had such an effect, then wouldn't it be able to obtain high-quality medicinal ingredients in a short amount of time? Those high-leveled pills required a very high grade of medicinal ingredients. For example, the coincidence pellet that Xie Chaoyan gave Zhang Yingqi required medicinal ingredients that were at least tens of thousands of years old. How can I hide it? Shen Xiang asked. He deliberately took out this 6 realms god cup. He also had a goal, but he was not sure if he would be able to achieve it. I have a ginseng here which is worth 1,000 years. See if you can make it older in your cup. Chao Wuxuang said. Many of the alchemists present still had some doubts towards the very old-looking cup in Shen Zhang's hand. Only if it was able to display the power of the cup, would everyone believe it. No problem, Shen Xiang smiled slightly. If you grow up to an even higher age, you should still recognize this ginseng, right? Of course I recognize it. This type of ginseng can only be grown by us, the Skypalace sect. We used the Dao Yuan god power to refine the water we watered, so the ginseng definitely recognized us. Chao Wuxuang said. Shen Xiang took the ginseng, placed it into the cup, and said wait a moment. Everyone patiently waited. After a while, Shen Shang took out the ginseng. It was actually a bit big. Although it was only a little big, Chao Wushuang was still surprised. He unbelievably took the ginseng from Shen Shang. This is indeed the ginseng that I gave you earlier. In just a moment, it has grown for about 100 years. The heavenly god equipment is indeed magical. All the alchemists were endlessly envious. With this kind of divine tool, it was very easy to produce medicinal ingredients of a higher grade. She had refined the Qingyuan Dan's medicinal ingredients that Shen Shang had given her before. At that time, she was still curious why Shen Shang had so many fresh medicinal ingredients. She felt that it was clearly from this cup. Grand Master Wushuang, this Judian Dan Ding of yours is not weak, right? Is there anything magical about it? Shen Shang asked. Can you broaden my horizons? The most amazing thing about Judian Dan Ding is that it can gather the heaven and earth aura. When refining pills, it can automatically absorb the heaven and earth aura to enhance the quality of the medicinal herbs. It will be of great help to the concocting of pills, so my cup at the Judian Dan Ding won't be any worse than yours. Chao Wushuang said, but he wanted Shen Zhang's cup very much. Your heavenly god equipment all have their own strengths. Zhang Yingqi said. Of course, the more heavenly god equipment, the better. Chao Wushuang really wanted Shen Zhang's cup now, and Shen Shang also wanted Chao Wushuang's Judian Dan Ding. He felt that it would be of great use to him, as it was a pill furnace that could improve her quality. Now he understood why Chao Kun dared to bet 10 billion jade coin with him. It was because he had this cauldron. Shen Shang, I know you just won 10 billion jade coin, that's why you made this bet with Ah Kun. In that case, you yourself are a person who doesn't think much of jade coin, it would be meaningless to bet on jade coin. Chao Wushuang suddenly said. Oh, what would a bet be more interesting? I won't take the risk of losing my life. Shen Shang asked, but he had already guessed it in his heart. This was also the reason why he took out the Six Realms God Cup. Gambling heavenly god equipment. If you lose, give us your cup. If we lose, the Judian Dan Ding will be yours. Chao Wushuang said. When the crowd heard this, they immediately took in a deep breath. They actually wanted to gamble on such a priceless treasure. Zhang Yingqi was shocked. He frowned. This is not good. Jade coin-s can still win back, but this one is very rarely used, and every heavenly god equipment is unique. It would be very difficult to find another one if they lost. Elder Zhang, what we're playing at now is the heartbeat. Only then will it be interesting and exciting. Chao Wushuang faintly smiled, looked at Shen Shang, and closely questioned, do you dare? Xie Chaoyan hurriedly said to Shen Shang, don't do it, you want to bet on something like the heavenly god equipment. Don't be silly, hurry up and reject it. No one will laugh at you. Why would I not dare? Shen Shang laughed heartily, I like to play with these kinds of heartbeats the most. How about this, while we bet on the heavenly god equipment, we will bet another 10 billion. Only then will we be satisfied. The winners will be satisfied, while the losers will be satisfied. Heroic spirit, I like it. Just as you said, heavenly god equipments will increase the bet by another 10 billion. Chao Wushuang laughed out loud. At this time, the Grand Master at the side was so jealous that he could die, because he felt that Shen Shang had no chance of winning. Everyone present was also discussing Shen Shang being a prodigal, to actually use such a thing to make a bet. What she didn't know was that the reason Shen Shang took out this Six Realms God Cup was to lure her to the other party to gamble with Judian Dan Ding. How about a blood contract? Although I have already passed the Judian Dan Ding to A Kun, I am still the one in charge of the Judian Dan Ding's maintenance. This way, we won't have to worry about the other party reneging on their promise while we're refining our pills. Chao Wushuang said again. That's exactly what I want. Shen Shang nodded and smiled. Just as Xie Chaoyan was about to go up, Shen Shang immediately sent a sound transmission to her, Sister Chao Yan, don't stop me. This is my chance to obtain his Judian Dan Ding. You clearly know that his Judian Dan Ding has the ability to raise quality, but you still want to bet with him. If he does not use the Judian Dan Ding, that would be fine. Xie Chaoyan immediately said, don't make a blood contract, you won't be able to exchange this cup for 10 billion. This gamble is too risky. Nothing much, the big rewards are the big ones. Shen Shang had already made a blood contract with Chao Wushuang. If the Six Realms God Cup was still of great use to him, he definitely wouldn't take it out. Therefore, he didn't have anything to worry about right now. Chao Kun and Chao Wushuang were currently laughing heartily, praising Shen Zhang's straightforwardness. It was obvious that they had a lot of confidence in him. Chapter 2456. Chao Kun had performed the best in refining Dao Mark Dan this time, so he believed that its quality would definitely be very high. It seems like the overall quality is quite scary this time. Chao Wushuang laughed, he could not wait to see how high the quality would be. The three elders from the three great native banks also walked up. They first took out other pills to test their own equipment to confirm that it was correct. Xie Chaoyan also walked up and took out his own pills to test the three instruments. Dad, this time, the quality will definitely be very high. It will be the highest in history. Chao Kun was very confident. However, he was still unable to take the test, because Chen Shang was not done yet. If he took the test now, it would affect Chen Shang, so he was not allowed to. Mine is good too. Chen Shang let out a long sigh. He opened the pill furnace and took out a deep purple pellet. It didn't look like a Dao Mark Dan in the slightest, but it was indeed made from Dao Mark Dan's medicinal ingredients. The color of this super high-quality pill was also different, so no one felt it was strange. They were only concerned about the quality. You can start the test now. The first one that you refined is the one you tested, Chen Shang said. All right. Chao Kun walked over and placed his shining Dao Mark Dan onto a pit. 8,000. Zhang Yingqi shouted in shock. A single pellet for 8,000, this caused the people in the hall to let out a startled cry. Previously, when Xie Chaoyan and Chao Yu was competing, the total number of Dao Ji Yu Dan that was refined had reached 5,000, this was already considered very high. But now, Chao Kun had reached 8,000, which was more than Xie Chaoyan by 3,000. Chao Kun had tested them using 3 native banks, test discs, and all she had received were 8,000 points. Xie Chaoyan had also taken out her test discs, she was only thinking for Chen Zhang's sake, it would make her feel more at ease. Even using Xie Chaoyan's testing equipment, it was still worth 8,000 points. The first 8,000, Chao Kun waved the pellet towards the people on stage and placed it into another jade box. Then, he picked up the second pellet to test its quality. 9,000. This Chao Kun was Chao Wushwang's son, but the pill he refined was of such high quality. This was definitely because of that Judian Dan Ding, he finally understood why he lost to Chao Wushwang all those years ago. The second pill cost 9,000 yuan, and there was another commotion in the audience. It seemed like the 4 pellets Chao Kun refined were not of the same quality. These pills had also been tested on the 4 array discs. They were all of the same quality. Xie Chaoyan's face became even colder, she was very worried that Chen Shang would lose. The third pill was still 9,000. At the time of the 4th pill, it had actually reached 10,000 pills. The total quality of the 4 pills is 36,000. Chao Wushwang smiled at Chen Shang. The entire process of the test was very fair, you saw it yourself. During the second competition between Xie Chaoyan and the inner sect disciples, the quality of the Dao Mark Dan that Chen Shang had refined was over 20,000, which was still around 15,000 away from Chao Kun's. And now that he had joined the sublimation refining method, it was unknown just how much it had increased. Chen Shang nodded his head. With such high quality, even if I lose, I am convinced of it. It's your turn now. Chao Kun smiled, as if the 6 Realms God Cup was already theirs. It's my turn. Chen Zhang's expression was calm, so much so that it was hard to tell if he was worried or not. Chen Shang was very confident in his own pill. He could refine more than 20,000 magic method furnace before, but now, after adding the sublimation refining method, he would definitely level up by a lot. How high can a single grain be? So what if it's 20,000? Ning Quan sneered. If we give him 30,000, he won't even be able to win. Huang Tian also nodded his head. Chen Shang only has that much power, he only knows how to refine single pills. Huang Tian, to think that you are an alchemist. How can you not know that a single pill is the hardest to refine? Hearing his words, Chen Shang smiled faintly and then placed the purple Dao Mark Dan in his hand onto the pit. Very quickly, the quality was shown. The numbers left everyone dumbfounded. 57,000. Chen Shang was also shocked. He felt that 40,000 was enough, he didn't think that there would be that much more. The first one who did not believe him was Chao Wushwang, which meant that he would lose his beloved Judian Dan Ding. He quickly picked up Chen Zhang's pellet and placed it on another testing machine, showing that he still lost 57,000. He was unwilling to give up. He tried a few more times but they were all the same, and later he even took out his own. It was still 57,000 yuan. Impossible, impossible. Chao Wushwang read these words as he shook his head. He could not accept this reality. You've lost. Chen Shang gave a bland laugh. According to the blood contract, you two are going to give me the Judian Danding and the 10 billion jade money. In the quiet hall below, a wave of exclamations and discussions broke out. Huang Tian and Ning Quan were so angry that their hearts were bleeding. Chen Shang had 2 heavenly artifact now. Compared to the 10 billion jade money, it was even more eye-catching. Grandmaster Wushwang, hurry up. Chen Shang laughed. Xie Chaoyan was already stunned beside Chen Shang, and was unable to say a word. Although she was not the one who won, she felt excited just thinking about it. Chen Shang alone had 2 heavenly artifact, and the quality of the single pill he refined was actually so high. Long ago, Chen Shang had felt that no matter what pill it was, there was no limit to the quality of it during refinement. At the very least, he was constantly breaking through his so-called limit. Chao Wushwang's hands trembled as he handed the Judian Danding over to Chen Shang. His face was filled with depression, and so was Chao Kun. Just one Judian Danding had fallen. Even if they lost 100 billion, they would not do such a thing, but this Judian Danding had taken half of their lives. Although Infinite Master was expressionless, he was still overjoyed in his heart. He decided to wait for this matter to pass and then challenge Chao Wushwang. Because the last time Chao Wushwang defeated him, she was relying on this Judian Danding. However, Infinite Master was still very jealous of Chen Shang. The 2 heavenly artifact in Chen Zhang's hands were both his dreams, yet they were both actually in his possession. Chen Shang smiled as he received the Judian Danding and the 10 billion jade money. At this time, Chao Wushwang and Chao Kun both wished that they could kill him, but they did not dare to. Thank you, you two. If you two get another heavenly artifact, we can have another round. Chen Shang laughed. Again, they didn't even come if they were beaten to death, was what Chao Wushwang and Chao Kun had said to them. Even though they really wanted to kill Chen Shang, under the control of the 3 great native banks, doing so was undoubtedly equivalent to committing suicide. If they left the city controlled by the 3 great native banks, they would definitely not hesitate to make their move. Elder Zhang, this is a congratulatory gift for you. Chen Shang passed the purple Dalmark Dan over to Zhang Yingqi, and laughed. This Dalmark Dan isn't very useful, I hope Elder Zhang does not dislike it. Why would I mind? This pill has a huge meaning. Zhang Yingqi sighed. In his heart, this was already considered a great gift. To have nearly 60,000 quality Dalmark Dan in his hands was already very heavy. Chapter 2457. Chen Shang only smiled. He did not seem very excited. He was already used to this kind of thing, and this was not the first time he had won such a good thing. Chao Wushwang looked a lot older now. After all, no one would be happy if they lost such a precious thing. After Chen Shang walked off the stage, Zhang Xian also quickly came over and praised Chen Zhang's strength. He even asked Chen Shang to take out the Judian Danding S and show it to him. In this birthday banquet, only Chao Wushwang and the others were sad. Although the others looked alright on the surface, they were secretly gloating in their hearts. He had originally wanted Xie Chaoyan to stay in the villa for a few more days. However, Xie Chaoyan said that he had something he needed to do and wanted to return to the Infinite Divine Mountain. He would be leaving the city for a period of time. Returning to the villa, Chen Shang took out the Judian Danding and easily fused with the cauldron. He unexpectedly discovered that Chao Wushwang and the others had never merged with the Judian Danding before, which also meant that they were unable to unleash the power of the Judian Danding. This Judian Danding seems to be much stronger than that 6 realms ding, it should be considered very strong amongst the heavenly artifact. Chen Shang played around with it, and praised it. He felt that Judian Danding were about as precious as Chuangshi God Furnace, and the strong thing about Chuangshi God Furnace was that the flames they released were extremely terrifying. Judian Danding were very suitable for concocting pills, they could concoct higher quality pills. Let's give it a try. Chen Shang took out the Qingyuan Dan's medicinal ingredients, and placed them inside the Judian Danding to refine them, using the same sublimation refining method. However, right from the start, he had felt that this Judian Danding required a very large amount of Daoyuan immortal power to maintain its circulation and absorb the energy of heaven and earth. Afterwards, it condensed into a special type of energy within the pill furnace. Even if I am an ordinary alchemist, the quality will definitely be very high. Chen Shang calculated for a bit before he continued to refine the medicinal ingredients. 2 hours had passed and he had refined 10 Qingyuan Dan. He was not clear as to how high the quality was, but he knew that the quality was definitely high. 2 more, and of a very high quality. Chen Zhang's 10 Qingyuan Dan said, "It seems that no matter what pill this furnace refines, the quality will become very high and it will also need the Daoyuan immortal power very badly. Although it could increase the quality, there was a price to be paid as well, and that was that the consumption of Daoyuan immortal power was 10 times more than that of other pill furnaces." Chen Shang calculated in his heart. If he were to use a large amount of pills to concoct pills, this pill furnace would not be too suitable. If he was going to concoct a high-quality pill, this pill furnace would be extremely good. I had thought that this pill furnace would be more suitable to concoct pills than the Chuangshi God furnace. Chen Shang then took out the Chuangshi God furnace again. The Chuangshi God furnace can refine anything, the Jutian Dan Ding might not be able to do it. Chen Shang had quite a few Qingyuan Dan in his possession. After eating a few, he started to cultivate. He needed to raise his strength, if not he would need to use up a lot of Daoyuan immortal power to refine those high-leveled pellets in the future. Right now, he was only at the first stage of Dao Dan realm. The advantage of Dao Dan realm was that it could comprehend a stronger power of the ancient code. At the same time, it could also strengthen the Dao core and quickly create more Daoyuan immortal power. After Chen Shang ate the Qingyuan Dan, he began to circulate his cultivation technique and cultivate his spirit pellet above divine sense C. Only by making this spirit pellet grow, would he be able to better understand the power of the ancient code. The city that the 3 great native banks had jointly constructed was called 3 Money Divine City. The scale of the city was extremely large and the center was gradually becoming bustling with activity. In order to make the city even more lively, the 3 great native banks lowered their standards and invited more people to enter these cities. Chen Shang had secluded himself in the villa for 3 months and he had eaten a lot of Qingyuan Dan before finally stepping into the second level of Dao Dan realm. At this moment, he could feel the extremely strong spatial and flame energy of heaven and earth. However, the higher his cultivation, the more he would be able to absorb. In other words, Dao Dan realm could be used to borrow the power of the heavenly Dao. The higher the cultivation, the more one could use it. The last time he fought with Zhang Xian suddenly increased his power by a lot because he borrowed the power of the heavenly Dao. Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan had also grown quite a few medicinal herbs in the Yuyao Mountain Villa. The majority of them belonged to Qingyuan Dan and Dao Jiyu Dan. We'll talk after we return to the Hundreds of Flowers village. Bring the Dao Jiyu Dan back. When Chen Shang walked out of the villa, the Dao Jiyu Dan had both the use of the Dao Dan realm and the Dao Po realm, and their main purpose was to strengthen the body. The stronger the body, the stronger the Dao core would be. If the Dao core borrowed more heavenly energy, the body would also be able to withstand more. Otherwise, the body would be too weak to withstand a large amount of heavenly energy, and might even cause serious injuries. Therefore, in the Dao Dan realm, it was common for people to have a victory in a battle with a cultivation level above them, and to have a victory in a battle with a cultivation above them, they would usually have a strong fleshly body. Chen Shang opened the door and walked out. He saw an old man sitting at the entrance. "Master." Chen Shang was shocked, and immediately pulled Huang Jintian in. "Why are you so down and down? Didn't I give you quite a few jade money?" Quote, "Well, we have too many people, and we also encountered many things on the way, but at least our journey was smooth sailing. I have settled them down." Huang Jintian chuckled. "Are you pretending to be pitiful so I can give you jade money?" Chen Shang curled his lips. "Where? I am not that kind of person." Just as Huang Jintian finished speaking, he saw Chen Shang pass over a storage bag. "I knew that you were a filial child." "Quite a few." Huang Jintian laughed. He knew that with Chen Zhang's 20 billion jade money, they would definitely not treat him badly. "Master, you have nothing better to do anyways, how about this, help me bring something back, and give it to Kilian." Chen Shang chuckled. "No problem." Huang Jintian promised straightforwardly. He was indeed free. Chen Shang took out a jade box and handed it over to Huang Jintian. Inside the box were many Dao Jiyu Dan medicinal ingredients and a jade plate. Inside the box, there was also the memories Chen Shang had inserted into it. He had yet to refine the Dao Jiyu Dan, but he felt that it would not be difficult. Feng Yuji and the rest would definitely be able to solve the problem that was troubling them, and it would not take long for him to go back and forth with the Hundreds of Flowers village. He was just worried that once he left the city built by the 3 great native banks, he would be targeted. Huang Jintian had told him before that the undead divine race back in the Star Law Divine Realm era would be able to calculate where he was. If he were to leave the city, he would coincidentally get caught by those undead divine race. Chapter 2458. Huang Jintian took the things that Chen Shang had given him and left the city, while he planned to refine a Dao Ji Yu Dan. Brother Shen, are you inside? This was Zhang Xian's voice. Chen Shang immediately went to open the door, and laughed, I just came out and you're already here. I've got someone waiting here. When they saw you open the door, they informed me immediately, and I came as fast as I could. Zhang Xian laughed. Come in, Chen Shang said. No, I have an urgent matter to discuss with you. Zhang Xian took out a piece of communication jade symbol paper and said, take a look for yourself. I heard that it was Xie Chaoyan who gave it to you. I don't know what was inside, it should be an urgent matter. Quote. Back then, Xie Chaoyan said that there was an important matter to attend to when she returned to the Infinite Divine Mountain, but she would be back very soon. But now, 3 months had passed and she had yet to return. Chen Shang took the jade talisman, and sent his divine sense inside, immediately hearing Xie Chaoyan's voice, Chen Shang, do not leave the city controlled by the 3 great native banks. There are many forces outside trying to capture you, and they are all very strong, including the undead divine race. With how famous he was now, the undead divine race S and evil spirit race S of the same generation as him would definitely hear about his achievements here. It was normal for them to know about him now. Do you have any news about Xie Chaoyan? She said that she would be back, so why is it you can help her send a message to me now? Chen Shang asked. She came here a month ago, but she can't enter your villa. She said that she still has something to do in the Infinite Divine Mountain, so she asked me to pass this on to you. What did it say? Is this a very important matter? Zhang Xian asked. She warned me to be careful and stay in these cities as much as possible. Once I leave, there will be many powerful organizations that will capture me. Chen Shang said, I can guess that. That's for sure. You have 2 heavenly artifacts in your possession, and 20 billion of them at that. Xuan isn't that high and you don't have any powerful experts by your side either. Zhang Xian said, if you leave now, others will find out where you are. You don't even need to think to know what kind of situation you will be in. Chen Shang sighed helplessly, looks like I have to become stronger in this city, or else if I go out, I'll be robbed. Actually, it's not like you can't go out. You're so rich, and your alchemy skills are so profound, you can definitely have a few strong bodyguards. That way, you can have some protection as well. Zhang Xian laughed, you can go take a look at the 3 great native banks. They might have someone suitable for you. I've already registered for the gambling match, do you want to take a look? The preparation is about to begin. Quote. No, I know you will win. Chen Shang laughed. That's true, but you can't bet on it even if you go. The 3 great native banks can't allow someone like you to gamble. If you go, they will lose a lot. Zhang Xian laughed as he patted Chen Zhang's shoulders. Then, he quickly walked towards the fighting arena. Zhang Xian was already very strong in the limitless battlefield. Although he retreated, he was quickly increasing his strength and fighting to gain more combat experience. Chen Shang wanted to see if he could use the jade money to hire a few strong bodyguards. That way, he would have a guarantee when he goes out. Right now, he was the most famous person in the city. As he walked on the street, there were many people watching him and discussing him. When Chen Shang came to the Eternal Life Native Bank, the shopkeeper immediately became anxious. Chen Shang was their big client, but they were worried that Chen Shang was here to earn money. Chen Shang directly went upstairs, where there was some slave sale and other stuff. He wandered around, but did not find anything satisfactory. It was just that they were too weak. He felt that there was not much of a guarantee. Being too famous also made Chen Shang a bit troubled. He had no choice but to use his transformation technique to change his appearance, and at this time, he was much more peaceful inside and out of the native bank. He was currently in the 3 Lives native bank, and wanted to see if there were any good servants to sell, but he unintentionally heard someone talking about Xie Chaoyan. Xie Chaoyan actually lost, and was defeated by a man inside the Infinite Divine Mountain, and now she is no longer a master above the Dan God list of 8 wastelands. Yeah, I thought she was close to Chen Shang and had learned a few moves from him, but she still lost in the end. I heard that he is preparing to challenge the champion of the Infinite Divine Mountain's unrivaled master Wu Shuang, who has just returned to the 2nd place. Right now, the momentum of the infinite divine mountain was very strong. The Skisword sect has been suppressed by them. Quote, the Skisword sect doesn't have any Judean Dan Ding, so they are destined to decline. They are simply too arrogant to actually use this kind of thing as a bet. They are truly reaping what they sowed. Haven't you heard? Right now, the place is bustling with noise and excitement. We are too plain and dull in the Three Money Divine City. All the heroes are gathered in the Eastern Wasteland. Quote, why are you going to the Eastern Wastelands? Did something big happen? How come we don't know about this? Quote, I only found out about it after entering from the outside. You will probably know about it in a few days, and I heard that an extremely huge mountain range suddenly descended from the Eastern Wastelands. I heard that the reason the Skisword sect went all out was to search for the heavenly artifact. Quote, hearing this news, Chen Shang did not dare to be sure that it was true, but he felt that it was possible. Maybe Xie Chaoyan had also gone there, which was why he did not come looking for him. This happened a few days ago. Of course, if one wanted to obtain heavenly artifact S, there was a lot of risk. The mountain range that suddenly appeared is extremely strange, and even now, we still have not figured out what happened. Quote, when Chen Shang heard this news, he also wanted to take a look, but he was extremely worried about his own safety. He was at the second stage of the Dao Dan realm, and compared to the experts of the sects and families, there were a lot of people watching him. I'll just have a look. Anyway, I haven't come to this big chaotic times and have yet to experience it properly. Chen Shang made up his mind. After that, he left the Three Lives Native Bank and came to the Eternal Life Native Bank. At this moment, he had already used a transformation technique to change his appearance. If he did not have a unique technique, it would be impossible to see through. The transmission array in the Eternal Life Native Bank could be teleported to various large cities in the wasteland, while Chen Shang could teleport to the Haoshan city in the wasteland. The city was very crowded, and he could only walk along the streets close to people. From the large crowd gathered here, he knew that what he had heard before was true. Of course, this group of people didn't gather here to go to the mysterious mountain range, but to do business here. After all, there were many places to earn money. Chen Shang had experienced the terror of the wasteland. Amongst the people who were gathered here, there were many Dao Po realm S, but these people looked to be very poor, not very rich. Chen Shang had bought some information from the mouth of a Dao Po realm middle-aged man. That person specifically told him that someone else had obtained the heavenly artifact, and that it was the people from the infinite divine mountain. Chapter 2459 C2459 C2459. In just 10 short days, in the mysterious mountain range that suddenly descended, 2 heavenly artifacts appeared. This was enough to make many experts go crazy. He suddenly felt that the 3 great native banks intentionally sealed off the news, all to prevent the people in those cities from finding out. On one hand, he was worried that the competition would be more competitive, and on the other hand, he was worried that the people from Three Money Divine City wouldn't be able to come back after they went there. The big powers and upper echelons in the Three Money Divine City must be aware of this, but they have kept it a secret, so Zhang Xian does not know either. Yang Shangyan said, Master, you must be careful when entering that mountain range. Not only is there danger inside, the experts who go in to search for heavenly artifact are also a great threat to you. Quote, I will be careful, Chen Shang said. After Chen Shang left the city, he saw that the countryside outside the city was filled with tents or small wooden houses. There were a lot of people outside the city and it had become a simple and crude city. Of course, there were also a lot of people who were here to search for companions. This way, they would be safer. When Chen Shang was in the city, he had already asked around for the location of the mountain range. Chen Shang traveled for half a day and also saw the mountain range. From afar, he could see jade green mountains that stretched for tens of thousands of miles. Occasionally, there would be clouds floating in the middle of the mountains. Some of the mountains even had silver waterfalls hanging down. If one listened carefully, they would even hear the sound of the water splashing. It was as beautiful and magnificent as an immortal mountain. It suddenly appeared. This is quite magical. Let's go in and take a look. If anything goes wrong, we can run again. Chen Shang had also heard that there were a lot of people who could come out after going in, if not no one would be able to find heavenly artifact. Chen Shang quickly entered the mountain range and walked in the fragrant mountain forest. Listening to the pleasant birdsong, he instantly felt refreshed. This is not in any other space. How strange, why would such a beautiful mountain suddenly appear? Chen Shang pondered the entire way. He had come here to roam around, so he was in no hurry to travel. He walked slowly along the way, feeling the beauty of this strange mountain range. These plants are fairly old. They should have been growing for a long time. Chen Shang gently touched a flower, then he used the god's eye to look around. Now, he was even more certain that this was a mountain range that should have existed for many years, and it was not an illusory formation. This was because he could see that the flowers, plants, and trees were greedily absorbing the Tao Qi of heaven and earth. The environment here is much better than other places. It seems like those sects and aristocratic families didn't just come here for the treasure, they are also seizing territory. Chen Shang suddenly thought of this place was so good, even he himself wanted to stay here for the long term. How did they find the heavenly artifact in here? This mountain range is not small. Chu Hongqing asked. I don't know. That person just wants to see how lucky he is. I'm still at the outer layer of the mountain range. I'll go deeper in and see if it's the same place as this place. Chen Shang used his space wind, and quickly sensed that there were people ahead of him, and he had also entered a deeper place. He was just unsure if this was the place with the deepest depths of the mountain range. There were a lot of people ahead, so Chen Shang turned into a bird that flew over and stopped on a tree. There were more than 1,000 people resting beside a small river. With so many of them, they must belong to the same faction. When will we be able to reach the position where the patriarch is? They have been gone for several days. A person complained. I don't know. The patriarch and the elders went there with great difficulty. We should still have to walk for a few more days. I don't know what's in there either. I heard that it's pretty dangerous, but there's heavenly artifact. If our Ning family has one of the heavenly artifact, then we don't need to care about infinite divine mountain's face anymore. Quote. No, we need at least 2. Infinite Divine Mountain has already gotten 1 heavenly artifact. Chen Shang has 2, but this guy is too weak. As long as we leave the city of the 3 great native bank, once we are discovered, we will be robbed. Chen Shang did not expect to hear someone talking about him here, and he did not know whether to laugh or cry. Now that he knew that these people were from the Ning family, they were all relatively weak. They were probably called in to build shelter or something. Based on his deductions, Chen Shang believed that there would not be any danger from the depths, if not the Ning family would not let such a group of people in. Just as Chen Shang flew to another tree and was about to fly forward, an old man suddenly took out a piece of communication jade symbol paper. After he read the contents inside, he immediately shouted, Patriarch has sent news, saying that Chen Shang has already entered the mountain range. Let's split into groups to search for him. Once we discover him, do not alert me by any means, and let me notify the Patriarch. Quote. So fast. It seems like the undead divine race is also inside, only they can calculate that I am inside. Chen Shang was on his guard now, although he knew that there were powerful enemies in front of him, he still wanted to go in and see. He wanted to know why there were heavenly artifact here, and even more of them. Chen Shang guessed that, and only after undead divine race calculated his approximate location, did he inform the other forces that undead divine race did not care about the heavenly artifact in his body. They only hoped to kill Chen Shang, as they were very clear of Chen Zhang's potential, and would definitely become his rival in the future. I haven't played this game in a long time. Chen Shang secretly laughed in his heart. In the past, he would often deal with existences that were a lot stronger than him. He continued to move forward, turning into a bird as he flew. In order to be more hidden, he even blended into the flock, imitating the smell of the bird as he flew forward. There were countless birds in the forest, with a variety of species, and there were birds everywhere, so it was best for Chen Shang to hide as a bird. What made Chen Shang felt even weirder was that the birds in this place were all bold. Even if there were people flying everywhere, the beasts roaring in front of them, the birds would not be scared. Where are the birds going? Chen Shang mingled with the flock of birds and felt that there was something different about this group of birds. They seemed to have been summoned by something and were rushing towards a certain place. Chen Shang flew with the flock of birds until the morning of the second day. Suddenly, he heard a crisp and gentle cry, accompanied by a burst of qi, which he felt to be very familiar with. With a puzzled expression, he followed the flock of birds out of the forest. In front of them was a vast grassland with all kinds of birds circling in the sky. These birds arranged themselves in an orderly manner, soaring high in the sky. In the middle of the plains below was a small mound, and on top of it stood a beautiful giant bird covered in fiery feathers. Phoenix, Chen Shang exclaimed. This aura is so familiar, could it be Shui Ying's? Quote, Shui Ying is the Phoenix Princess, and also LV Kilian's disciple. His relationship with Chen Shang is not bad, and he should be in the Hundreds of Flowers village right now. Therefore, Chen Shang was not sure if this phoenix was the one he recognized. Chapter 2460. Chen Shang looked at the beautiful fiery red phoenix and had the urge to fly over. This is a heavenly beast. Chu Hongqing exclaimed, I never thought I'd see someone alive. The phoenix is the emperor among birds. It's said that it has an immortal body. This strange mountain actually has this kind of heavenly beast. It's really magical, Yang Shangyan said. There's a phoenix in the Hundreds of Flowers village. She's even big sister Kilian's disciple. The aura of this phoenix in front of us is very similar to that of Hundreds of Flowers villages. Chen Shang said. Although Chu Hongqing had stayed in Hundreds of Flowers village for a period of time, she didn't know about this sort of thing. Chen Shang wanted to go over to take a look, but he was worried that he would alarm the phoenix. Moreover, the phoenix was covered in a holy light. He did not know what it was doing. It's really a heavenly beast here. No wonder it has such a terrifying aura. A person suddenly appeared with a face full of pleasant surprise, followed by a large group of people. It's a phoenix, you must definitely catch it. Also, make this phoenix our Ning family's guard heavenly beast. This is something even more honorable than obtaining the heavenly artifact. An old man laughed loudly and immediately rushed over. The phoenix let out a long cry and flapped its wings, creating a blazing fire. The fire spread out in all directions and instantly enveloped the entire prairie in a sea of fire. The countless birds circling in the air scattered in all directions and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The phoenix also turned into a streak of red light and flew towards the forest, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Quickly chase! The Ning family elders shouted. Previously, the Ning family wanted to capture him, but now, they wanted to capture the phoenix. If not for the sudden arrival of these people, he might be able to converse with the phoenix and ask about some things here. This way, he could confirm that the phoenix was not the Shui Ying he knew. Chen Shang was not worried about that phoenix either. The power that the phoenix used just now was extremely strong, and it ran very fast. He also wanted to catch up, but he needed to find Xie Chaoyan first. Xie Chaoyan would be more familiar with the situation here. She was the first person to enter. Chen Shang continued to fly in the middle of the forest. This mountain range was extremely strange, especially in the depths. There were many weird-looking flowers, plants and trees. He was currently in a blue-colored forest. The trees inside were not very big, but the bark of the trees were all blue, and would even flash. Some of the trees grew flowers, and from time to time, a drop of blue liquid would drop. I wonder if there are any medicinal herbs here that can concoct pills. Chen Shang was very careful now. He used his own experience to search around here. Not long after, he found a small hollow tree under the root of a big tree. Traces of light blue mist were coming out from the hollow of the tree. There are strange and wondrous flowers and plants in the tree hole. This is also to protect myself. At the same time, I absorb Dao Qi from the heaven and earth through the big tree. Using the Dao Heart Eye, Chen Shang could see that tiny blue flower. He immediately flew over, and just as he was about to enter the tree cave, the big tree suddenly shook violently, releasing a very strange power, making Chen Shang feel as if he was suddenly blown away by a strong gust of wind. He immediately turned back into his human form and ran towards the tree once more, but this time he was blown away by the strange power released by the tree. How strange, I wonder how it was formed. The roots of this huge tree actually formed a natural formation beneath the ground, protecting the entire tree from being invaded. The flowers that are hidden inside the hole in the tree also get very good protection. Chen Shang looked around. There were no traces of people coming here. He was the first person to discover this blue flower. After his previous 2 attempts, he had already discovered that this tree was protected by a naturally formed array formation. Against this sort of array formation, he had an extremely good method of dealing with it. He immediately tried it, and as expected, it was very easy to pass through the formless array and reach the roots. He reached into the small tree hole, and just as he was about to pick it, he felt a trace of movement from the ground. He immediately wanted to teleport away, but he was still a little too slow. Ah! Chen Shang shouted in shock, and then he was hung upside down. It turned out that his feet were tied up by the vines that hung him upside down beside the big tree. Moreover, there were also many vines that extended onto his body, instantly binding him like a dumpling, exposing only his head. This tree has become a spirit. Chen Shang exclaimed in his heart. He then wanted to struggle free from the tree, but realized that the Daoyuan immortal power was not able to flow into his body. Do you want me to go out and help you? Chu Hongqing asked. Don't come out, this tree is very dangerous. Chen Shang had never encountered such a thing. After his feet were bound by the tree vines actually released a strange power that seeped into his body and absorbed the hidden Daoyuan immortal power in his flesh. After a few tries, Chen Shang realized that as long as he was able to release a bit of Daoyuan immortal power, it would all be sucked dry immediately. As long as it was the energy that escaped from divine sense C, it would all be sucked into the big tree. Then what should we do? Use your sword, Chu Hongqing immediately said. I have to be released at the same time, I am bound like this, I am unable to use it. If I want to control the sword, I have to release a very strong Daoyuan immortal power to control it, but the speed at which the Daoyuan immortal power is absorbed by the tree is extremely fast. Chen Shang laughed bitterly. He was currently thinking of a way. For the moment, he was much safer. His physical body's strength was not strong enough, and all the energy inside the divine sense C would be instantly absorbed. Originally, he wanted to borrow the natural law principles as power, but like before, he was also sucked dry, which gave Chen Shang a huge headache. If he called Chu Hongqing out, then he was worried that they would also be tied up by the vines, which would be even more troublesome. Someone's coming. Chen Shang frowned. He heard a lot of footsteps. It's Huang Shaoshan. He recognized this chi. Chen Shang was currently unable to use the power of the divine sense C, so he was unable to use his transformation technique. It's Chen Shang. After Huang Shaoshan arrived, he shouted in joy. He was not stupid and immediately said to the people around him, everyone be careful, there's a problem with this tree. They are all from the Fire Reverent School. Chu Hongqing said anxiously, do you really not want us to go out? You are in danger now. Quote, not for now, they won't be able to make it. Chen Shang said. Huang Shaoshan laughed from afar. That's great, we can find any place with our broken steel shoes now, and Chen Shang will fall into our hands. To be able to obtain 2 heavenly artifacts just by obtaining Chen Shang, many people thought so.